everyone, it's Nina Infinity. Welcome to my channel on this Wednesday. This is Infinite Talk, and I have here with me my amazing co-host, Mr. John Talks. How are you, John?
I'm doing great. How are you doing, Nina?
I'm doing good. I'm at a standing desk where I can dance around. I'm out of the closet, John.
That's what I heard. Yeah. How's it feel? It's a little bit more spacious?
Yes, I can expand my arms. Could move all around, stretch. It's really amazing. Really, I could bring my leg up, but I probably shouldn't because they'll probably clip that. Hey, anyways, I could do things. That one of the things though that is kind of weird is having the camera like straight, like here.
Yeah.
So I'm like sometimes I'll just like look down like this because I'll forget.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is a little bit of a change.
Yeah.
Same with the standing desk. I noticed, I know you were talking about you were having issues like sitting down. But I found with the standing desk that I did when I was doing too much standing. That I also had there was like a soreness in my legs just from standing too long in one place. And it's like I would forget to move around because I'd be so much into my work. And so that could be a problem, but you just got to remember to move around.
I think like for me, it's a little bit different because as a person, like as a standing person, like look at me, I'm just like standing around, like I'm constantly moving.
Yeah.
Like like it might feel or seem like I have ADD or something because I'm always like, what's going on? But like in my standing life, I'm always moving. Like I'm always like dancing, moving. Like if I'm doing dishes, I'll be like listening to music, dancing, like whatever. Or like if I'm cooking, like whatever. Usually I'm just a very movie person. So sitting in one spot actually was hurting me.
For sure. Yeah. If you do, I think you do too much of the other. For sure.
Oh, you froze for a second.
Son of a gun.
Right, there you go. You're back. You're back. But yeah, like it just yes, it's the achieving of the balance, I think that needs to come into place. Because yes, of course, like sometimes I'll be standing here, like what I was doing Toxic Femme on Monday, and we were going for like, a good couple hours, like 2 hours or so. And like for the first hour I stood, and then I was like, I'm tired. Like, I'm tired of standing. So I just like changed it to the sitting position and then went back to sitting, and it was nice. And then I stood up again because I was like tired of sitting, so I was like, okay, let's just stand for like 15 minutes or like stand for like an hour, sit for like 15 minutes and stand again. So it's nice.
Yeah, that's the way to do it for sure.
Someone says Nina came out. Nice. That's right, I am out. I am proud. No longer in a closet. It's really
no longer a closet YouTuber.
Yeah. Yeah. How are you? How have you been? I know, like, things weren't super great the last time we talked because of what happened with your channel. So give us all an update about what happened, what's going on with you, whatever you want to share.
It's going good. Yeah, I've just been posting on the second channel, just building that up. And I've kind of now got this like, there's a little bit of I don't know, gun shyness or whatever. I don't know what you would call it, but it's this idea of like every video that I hit upload, I'm just like, I think I did enough editing on this video. I think there's been enough done. I don't think YouTube can get it's just it's such a, like, after you've had it happen so many times, you're just like, I'm like overly careful.
You're walking on eggshells like all the time.
That's how it feels. Yeah. But
yeah.
I mean, I'm not, other than that, I mean, it's going good. I definitely enjoy what I'm doing, and I'll enjoy it as long as I can. We'll see.
That's good.
Everything, at some point or another, sooner or later, everything must come to an end,
All good things. All good things. That's that's why I love the last episode of Star Trek TNG was called All Good Things. And I truly believe that because, also like the episode talks about how, every beginning is not, or every ending is not just an ending. It's also a new beginning because, you're moving on to the next chapter. So I love that idea because I like to look at things the positive way usually. Like,
yeah.
Cup half full.
Well, No, absolutely. Well, I think the fact that things are, our time is limited here. So it's like it's kind of a morbid thing to think about death, but it is also something that makes you appreciate the present more. And it is something that makes you more mindful of like, okay, my time is limited. And so I, for one, want to make the best use of it. And I also want to, enjoy this time,
Mm-hmm.
because
Absolutely.
this is the only April 24th of 2024 that you're ever going to get. You'll never get another one. So
This is true.
you might as well make the most of it and the best of it that you can. And obviously you all are doing that because you're tuned in here. So
That's right. And look, it's Ian so forth saying standing desk, eh? Well, I'll have to stand up too. See, we're influencing people in the positive way already, John. People are moving their bodies.
yeah,
I guess
maybe
maybe
I'll
that's
do a
what
little
I should
standing
do
myself.
next, is like stretching exercises or something, like get people to move their body. Like, you gotta move your body. I'll teach you how to dance in one spot. See, that's one of the things most people don't know how to do, is club dancing. Like when you're in a club and you're dancing, but you have to dance in one spot. You can't really move around, because if you move around, especially if it's a busy club, like you're going to be stepping on feet.
People.
Yeah, you're going to be hitting people. So dancing in one place is definitely a skill, like a skill you have to learn. So maybe I'll put some dancing in one spot.
Dancing tutorials. It's all on the shoulders, folks.
Right.
Yeah.
It's on the hips and the shoulders. That's exactly it. It's just like you're, again, constantly moving, but making it look nice. It's hand gestures, movements. I mean, this part comes from like my Persianness, because like Persian people do a lot of like this kind of dancing. So like
little belly dancing.
Yeah, well, belly dancing is more Arabic. Persian dancing has more like the hand gestures, like they'll do like this kind of dancing. This Infinite Talk became really weird.
Yeah. And this is Egyptian dancing right here.
Yeah, this is like
that's more
Egypt. Cultural appropriation. Welcome to the cultural appropriation dancing version of Infinite Talk. Thank you.
Yeah. And this is like white dancing, where it's just like
I think white dancing is like
white wedding dancing.
Yeah, white wedding dancing is YMCA, like YMCA.
Yeah, just there is no spatial recognition there. White drunk wedding dancing. That's
white drunk wedding.
Yeah, I want to make sure we include everybody here, just so nobody thinks that.
Absolutely. I mean, I think like white dancing too is the mosh pit dancing, I feel like, is definitely a white people thing. Like I don't think I've seen very many colored people in there, like whether that's brown people or black people or people of color don't necessarily really go into mosh pits usually.
Yeah.
Like
I don't know what it is about. Somebody said this. I heard some guy say this about I think he was a black musical artist, and he said, whenever Creep comes on by Radiohead, it's like white people get into it. And, it's, or probably like, I think he would probably say the same of Beck when it comes to Loser, both catchy songs, by the way, extremely catchy songs. I like both, but
which one do you like better?
Oh, man, they are both incredibly catchy, and both kind of like
depressing,
shaming. Yeah. Like I'm a creep, or
I think Loser is way more my favorite, because I mean Creep has a better riff, like acoustic and like sound, but Loser has better lyrics. So like I mean, it's just the funniest freaking song that you could ever. You know what? Sweet Caroline, definitely a white person song. I agree
for sure. But he was saying that, whenever Creep comes on, like the white people just get into it. And I was like, you know what? He's right. Like other national, other, I hate to use the word races, I like to think of the human race as one race, but we'll use it. Other races, like they don't really get into the putting down of, you know, or get into a song about, you know, being a creep or being a loser when you think about it. Like they don't, you know, and I don't know what that is. Like what is,
I can tell you this, like Persian music, like Persian people don't usually sing about like self-deprecating or deprecating. Is that deprecating? That's not a word. That's not like a thing that Persian people do. Like Persian music is usually very, very much either political, which you don't want to get political when it comes to like Persian people, because then you'll, you know, get in trouble. Or, you know, a lot of songs about love and like mainly like dudes sing about how much women are beautiful and pretty, and like how, like, not that they think they want to bang them, but they want to like worship the ground they walk on, and they want like this wife, and it's just all about worshiping women, which is the opposite of what you would think.
Women's hearts, would you say? Like, do women like just fawn over that stuff over there?
Oh yeah,
obviously
100%.
they do. There's a market for it. Yeah,
they love it. Absolutely love it. Russell Hall's here for $2, says WAP brings us all together.
Yeah, I mean, what somebody could say that's sort of like a, you know, I don't know. It's sort of its own self-deprecating, you know, song in its own way. I guess
I never got into WAP. I think I got more into. I mean, as far as like songs like this have gone, I think like the buck stopped with like Sir Mix-a-Lot for me, and like I Love Big Butts. You know, when we went from I Love Big Butts to like Wet Ass Pussy, I was like, you know what, we gotta draw a line.
Got to bring it back.
Everybody like, you know, I like big butts is okay. You know, you can get into that, but
sure,
just Wet Ass Pussy, like, I mean, come on, like, can we just tone it down, people?
Have a little more class.
Just a little bit, just a tad,
just a little bit. Yeah.
Like, I mean, like, you know, when you look at the Sir Mix-a-Lot like video for the song, like it was pretty freaking spicy. Like that was a spicy video. That was a spicy song.
Yeah.
And then we all decided like, nah, like hold my beer, Sir Mix. Like it was just like, no.
I'd like to do. Yeah, I agree, Nina. I agree. I'd like to do my own version. But instead, I would change the opening lyrics to I like big brains, and I cannot lie. Yeah. I like big brains, and I cannot lie.
You other brothers can't deny.
Yeah. You other nerds can't deny.
With it itty bitty waist and I can't say
small
the round
ass
thing
brain
in your face.
Okay. Yeah. No. We're gonna write an entire song here and make everybody suffer through it.
Okay, that's one of the issues I have now with the standing desk is these headphones. I feel like now I have to get wireless.
Yeah, that's a downside for sure.
But like the thing with me and the wireless headsets is the fact that I'm way too much of a conspiracy theorist to be like, I'm gonna give myself brain cancer. So I'm not.
Oh, you think that would be? You think
100%.
That would happen? Okay.
Yeah, I'm like.
What do you feel about the microwave?
People. Microwave, you can like stay away from it, like more so. I think it's like more. Like there's like the zone is not as like if you go up to it, then yeah, you're gonna like have problems, you know. Or like when it's on, especially for dudes, when it's like on a lower setting. And then they go and stand right in front of it. Like, I think that would kill your sperm. Like, I think.
Yeah. I mean, if you believe it enough, would the belief itself be a placebo to affect you in some way? I don't know.
Question, John.
I don't know. There's a book called The Expectation Effect where it kind of goes into these sort of things. But I am a little bit leery of like cooking around the stove and I got the microwave going. I got something in the microwave. Just because it's like right there, and it's like I don't know how I try to stay away from it at least a little bit.
See, my microwave is like on the top shelf where I like it's not in like I actually have to like reach up to like put my plate in there and stuff like that.
Mine's
so it's not somewhere. Yeah. See, like I would make it just as high as possible, so it's not really like just beaming whatever it is at you.
Yeah.
But like when you're putting it right in your brain, like with the headsets, like this is like right here. It's like it's the same thing with the phone. Like whenever I talk on the phone, I don't hold it to my head. I'm always talking with it, like, you know, away from my head. Because I do believe, and there has been studies done where it says there's a correlation between like brain cancer and tumors and stuff like that based on you know, that kind of thing. Ian so forth, thank you so much for the 25. Love the support. Thank you. Says, I like big brains would also work as an intro music to some people.
True. Put a little Rob Zombie guitar or something behind that too.
I like big brains and I cannot lie. Thank you, Ian. And then Russell Hall for 2 says, some girls keep it dap. What can I say? Ooh.
Wow. Ooh.
I you know, Russell, I know when you, God, I was going to say something really mean. I'm not going to say it mean. Should I be mean, John, or should I be nice, Nina?
I would say nice, Nina. I'm gonna try to be the you know, your better angels here.
Okay. You're lucky. You're really lucky, Russell, because if Anna was here, I would have been mean, Nina. But John is here, so you're lucky.
You've got to you're the lady here. You're the woman here, Nina. You got to be nice.
Okay, let's talk about some of the topics we have in the title and stuff. Even though I love just bantering back and forth. So first things first. And Ian, you I don't know if you're in London or not. Maybe you can attest to what is going on in London. Ian so forth. I know you're from England. I don't know if you're in London though. I think you might not be like directly in London. But shit's been going down in London today. And mainly this weird situation happened with some horses, blood-soaked horses, military horses break free and injure 4 people while running amok near Buckingham Palace. This was kind of crazy. Oh, he's like, I'm Scottish. Ian, I didn't know you're Scottish. I'm Scottish.
I got a little Scotch in me.
Quit calling me a Brit, mate. Wait, that's Australian. Oops.
It's tough. It's tough to get there. There's kind of some similarities between those accents. They are. I always change it up. Like I'll yeah. I'm William Wallace. I'm not William Wallace.
He's gonna be like, I want a refund of my 25.
But I am actually a little bit Scottish, which I should be able to do.
You are like actually like a little bit.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yep.
You're super white. I love it.
I am.
Wait, I have a clip for that. Hold on. There we go.
He's super white.
The whitest of the white.
But yeah,
Hi,
so
guys.
this happened. This happened in England. It was kind of crazy. Here's some footage of the horses. The wild horses. And then we'll go into what exactly happened.
Dang, man.
There they are. Poor horses. I mean, this horse has got blood all over it. So there we go. That's the footage. And then going back to this article.
Were there 4 horses? Were there 4 horses that got loose?
Yes.
Is this
no,
is this
injuring
like
4 people? I think it was 2 horses.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was.
I was going to say, is somebody trying to signify this is the beginning of the 4 horsemen? Well, I guess it wouldn't be horsemen because there's no horsemen on the horses. But that's a dangerous. Oh, I can see the blood on that picture now, on that right side. Dang.
Yeah, I mean it's scary. It's weird because I wonder if it was like. If it's like a symbolic representation of what's happening to London and to England in general. Because there's also the second topic is going to be Kate Middleton, which we're going to talk about also. But so this is what happened. 5 British military horses. Ooh, look, it was 5 horses.
Dang.
Including one soaked in blood, sparked chaos in London on Wednesday after they bolted through the streets near Buckingham Palace during the morning rush. The rogue household cavalry horses, who were wearing saddles and bridles, were spotted charging through the heart of the UK capital, injuring 4 people around 8:30 a.m., the Telegraph reported. The runaways got spooked by near construction workers during a morning exercise in Belgravia and threw their riders before charging through the busy streets. Wild footage posted on social media showed one of the horses grappling past Buckingham Palace at one point. Here's another image of the horse. Oof, that looks like, I mean, that looks like something out of a war. Like, you know, those war scenes where the horses are like all bloody with the people that the person on top of them are like going by with axes and stuff like that. Like, rah! It's bad.
Yeah.
It's bad.
It's yeah,
and
people, I
then,
mean,
go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I mean, you get hit by a horse like running. I mean, it's like yeah, people die. People can easily die from that sort of
People
thing.
were lucky that nobody died. I mean, there was
Yeah.
injuries, but nobody's died. At least 2 others, including a white horse covered in blood, could be seen tearing through other busy areas of the city, including the Tower Bridge and the Strand. The horse injured itself, smashing into a windshield of a silver Mercedes-Benz minivan. The vehicle's owner told LBC News another beast ran into a double-decker tour bus, which was seen with a smashed up windshield. So I think that's where the blood has come from, is they injured themselves.
To a
We are aware
double-decker
of a number of horses. Sorry, what was it?
A double-decker bus. Dang.
That's gotta be painful. We are aware of the number of horses that are currently loose in central London and are working with colleagues, including the army, to locate them. London's Metropolitan Police initially said on X. 3 soldiers received treatment for non-life-threatening injuries. An army spokesperson told the BBC News. A 4th person, believed to be a cyclist, was also injured. This person was very lucky not to be like way worse off. The horses were rehearsing with members of the household cavalry, military members who performed ceremonial duties around Buckingham for a major general's inspection set for Thursday in Hyde Park, the army told the BBC. Now, this is, I mean, can you imagine if this is why they do rehearsals, guys? Because if this has happened while the general was there, like, I mean, can you imagine the ramifications of that? That's just like too crazy. But I mean, like, what I don't understand though is, like, was the construction like that close for them to be so spooked? I mean, that loud noises spook horses all the time. City of London Police, the force in charge of the capital financial district, said officers had managed to contain 2 horses and were waiting for a horse carrier from the British Army to collect them and take them to the veterinarian. So there you go. I think hopefully the horses will be fine.
Man, can you imagine walking down the street and just a horse? You turn the corner and a horse is just coming.
I know. And it's like covered in blood. Like, it's like something from a nightmare.
Yeah, it'd be so surreal. It's just like, yeah.
Like, what?
Wow.
What is happening?
Well, fortunately, nobody got hurt. Thank God.
Yeah, like, not crazy hurt. I mean, that cyclist got hurt, but I think they'll be fine.
Yeah, at least nobody died, I guess.
16-bit mascot, thank you for the $5. Says, hey, Nina, looking amazing as always. Ahoy, John Talks. Good to see you guys today. Cheers.
Good to see you.
Thank you, 16-bit mascot, for your super chat. So there we go. And that's what happened with these horses. I mean, it's just so weird. It reminds me of, like, just anime stuff. Like, I'm like, this is like an anime where, like, the horses are like all bloody and running through the city. Like, where'd they come from? I mean, my mind, like, because again, I'm a conspiracy weirdo, like, immediately went to, like, what if they came out of a portal where, like, they were in a battle like long time ago, and then just, like, you know, run through the portal, and it's just like, oh my God, they're here. And it's just like, nah, they just got
run through traffic or something. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
like
There has been stories, or there was one story which I think was like debunked, but some guy supposedly like appeared in Times Square or something, and he got hit by a car, but I think that story got debunked. But I think like the story goes that his ID was showing that he was from or his clothes, like his clothes were showing like he was from an earlier time. Maybe he didn't have any ID on him or something. And
I
yeah, but I
love
think
those stories.
it's pretty cool. Yeah, but I think it's just an urban legend or something that's not even real. But
Probably.
yeah.
Did you by any chance catch Tucker Carlson's interview with Joe Rogan?
No, I didn't.
So Tucker went on Joe's show. And they did I think like a 3-hour conversation, and they start like immediately into the woo-woo. Like it was like an immediate start into let's talk about like some weird ass shit like UFOs and stuff like that. And I was like captivated. I haven't finished the interview yet, but I want to go and listen to it. I highly recommend because it's just, just really interesting to watch these guys talk about weird government conspiracies and like stuff that like obviously like Tucker is someone who gets a lot of information fed to him all the time, so he like talks about that. I thought it's some of the stuff he has to say is really interesting. But yeah, I want to go back.
What did
and watch that.
what did he have to say about the UFO stuff? Tucker.
He basically says like it's just like he obviously believes it's real. Like he's like it's not even questionable anymore because they've already like the government's already confirmed that they're real. And he basically talked about like he's like, okay, like we know they're real, so what's the intent? Like that's where he's at. He's like, we need to figure out if they're like on the good side or the bad side. And if they're on the bad side, like what are we doing? Why are we dealing with them? Kind of thing. Like if because you can tell the government has been dealing with them for a while. So what is the intent of dealing with them? Like that's basically where he's at. And I think it was funny because Joe was like, well, what do you believe in? Because it was like he was talking about like how he thinks they're spiritual beings. And then Joe was like, well, what do you mean by spiritual beings? And he's like, well, I mean, like maybe spiritual is the wrong word. Like I mean more like supernatural, like they're not from here. And then he was like, well, like what do you believe in? Because he was talking about like the idea of God and blah, blah, blah. Because they go into like sentient AI and they talk about a lot of stuff. And then they talk about the idea of God and what is God and all this stuff. And Joe's like, well, what do you believe in? He's like, I believe in God. Like just like straight up being like, I believe in God. And he's like, yeah. And it was just like it was just a really, really fascinating conversation. And I'm only like halfway through it. And I was like, I'm just excited to go back because it was really cool. It was a really cool talk. Now, speaking of debunking things, I don't know if you heard or not, but a few months ago, there was this kind of like video put out by the royal family about Kate Middleton. Did you happen to catch that? Where she basically said that she has cancer.
Yeah, I heard about that. But I know there was some rumors going on beforehand and a lot of speculation going on. So I heard it on the radio. Somebody was talking about it on the radio, and that was the first I heard of it.
Yeah, so I guess just to back up, what had happened was that like Kate had gone quote unquote missing for a while, like because she wasn't in the spotlight, she wasn't doing press releases, she wasn't doing like anything really. And so people were like, where is she? Like, because they're royal. So they go around everywhere. They have royal schedules. And people now know more than ever about the royal family, especially after the crown and like, just knowing the ins and outs of how the royal family conduct business. Like people know now, right? So that they're like, what's going on? Like, where's Kate? And so the royal family at first was like, Kate's fine. And like they put out this like really weird image of her and her kids. And then people were like, well, this is AI because she's clearly not there. And like, all the stuff. So the people started to like paint out like these pictures. They were like, they were putting out these information about how Kate's not actually with the family. And then other things leaked, like she was with her mom somewhere and she was caught like in a candid camera, like where is she? And like people were saying like all sorts of things, like she had pancreas cancer or she had all sorts of stuff, like some sort of medical condition or whatever, and she was taking time. And then like they finally brought out that video where she's sitting there talking on a bench being like, I have cancer and that's why I'm not around. I'm just taking time, being with my family, blah, blah, blah. But then like internet people started paying real close attention to what that video was like. And a lot of people spotted a lot of weird discrepancies. So they started saying that this video is actually AI. So that was like, excuse me. So that was one of the things that was happening. Now, after looking at the video several times and like zooming in and blah, 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 I believe that it is AI. I'm just going to say it. I think it's AI.
Okay. Interesting.
But
you going to play the video or
we're going to play this video that's like debunking these claims. So we're going to watch like the claims that are being made.
Sure.
And we're going to watch the debunking of them.
Okay.
But for me, where I stand is I don't believe in the debunk. I think the debunk is like cope. And I think something has actually happened and they're trying to hide it. So here we go. We're going to watch this video and you guys be the judge. Like you be the judge. This is what I believe. After like, I know someone who's been working with AI for years and years and years, and they've confirmed with me that they think it's AI as well. So I believe that, but this is up to you, the audience, to decide for yourself. So here we go.
Now to go truthing or faking. Or Catalina Marchand de Abreu, good evening to you. Analysing Kate Middleton, that's Catherine, Princess of Wales, to give her full title. Her cancer diagnosis video. We do hope she gets well soon. That's something we all should say. But the video's caused...
Definitely, that's definitely something I want to say as well. As I hope whatever she's got, I hope she gets better soon.
A lot of scandal, a lot of rumor, and more conspiracy theories regarding AI. Tell us more.
Conspiracy theories.
Here's the video in question posted by Princess of Wales, Kate Middleton, where she announces her cancer diagnosis. The cancer reveal video posted on March 22nd. This video fueled brand new conspiracy theories all over social media, as many claim that this video was actually generated using artificial intelligence in what's being called the Kate Gate. So as you can see in this post, the list is long of reasons why this video would actually be a deepfake, according to some users on social media. But we will dive into the two main theories going around. First of all, Kate Middleton's sailor top on this video that users claim with this post as well, that this top is the same one that she wore for a 2016 mental health campaign called Heads Together, where users also point out that she has the same hairstyle, hence claiming that Kensington Palace made a deepfake based off this 2016 video. Then the second piece of evidence would lie on this extract of this video, where we see that Kate Middleton's famous engagement ring appears and then it disappears as she moves.
Whoa.
A main piece of evidence that users claim to be the proof of the inauthenticity of this video.
I thought it would just
that's a big one.
She keeps her clothes and looks after them well, and believes in sort of economizing and saving money on those issues. But maybe there is something else there. Catalina, have you been able to, the word is, debunk those claims?
So here's the debunk.
We have, Mark. Let's begin with the sailor top that users claim is the same one from a 2016 campaign, and hence a deep fake. Our fact-checking colleagues at Logically Facts took a closer look, where immediately you can actually see that the stripes in the shirt from the 2016 video are a bit thicker and closer together than that of the recent video that also seems to be a looser fit, where
this
you can actually
dumb.
see a clear difference between both tops is in the cuff and the hem of the...
So here's the thing about the royal family. And one of the things that you will probably know yourself, they don't repeat outfits. That's the one thing that you can know about a princess or a queen to be, and the royal family, just generally speaking. They do not rewear outfits, especially ones that are for like, staged photography sessions.
Or something.
Like, exactly.
Okay.
So I don't like this whole, oh, this one has thicker
I mean, if
stripes.
she hadn't worn it since like 2016 or whatever, I mean,
They do not recycle outfits. It doesn't matter when they wore it, and they know
okay.
which one they wore. They have people that keep
Well, what
track of
about
their
that
outfits.
polo that William's wearing, that white polo? I mean, surely he's probably worn another white polo at some point, you know.
Well, maybe William because he's a man, but when it comes to women do not repeat outfits. Like that
Yeah.
is not something that happens. And
It
I'm
is
sure also William probably has 30,000 of these white polos that he
sure,
switches.
probably.
He's just constantly going through. Like one of the things, like this chick's actually about to say this very thing. Like she's just repeating the outfit because she wants to be frugal. And I'm like,
Yeah, no, it's pretty clear though if you look at it, at least to the naked eye, that those stripes are thicker in the bottom one. Very, it's very apparent, you know.
But also
So,
like the
but
idea
that
that
shirt
she's
is so
being
darn similar
frugal,
though.
like it's not, it's like the royal family doesn't like nickel and dime over sweaters.
I
That's
mean,
not
if
what they do.
it could be somebody's own personal philosophy though. Like she could actually be a very, you know, she could actually be a very modest person, you know, like in terms of her spending habits. And I'm not saying that she nickel and dimes everything, but for her to wear the same thing from like 2016 would not, I wouldn't see it as like a really big deal if she
I
did.
mean, I wouldn't either,
If she did.
obviously, but it's just not something that's usually done. So I'm like, I don't know. For like, photo shoot styles, I mean, women just don't necessarily. I don't like repeating outfits, like let alone being royal. Like I feel like I'm not repeating that outfit.
Rich people,
But
here's the thing about rich people is that rich people don't even care. Like that's why, especially like the celebrities when they go on the streets and they dress just as like, you know, they throw on the glasses, they have
that's
the
because they
shoveled
don't want to be
hair.
recognized. That's
Yeah,
when they don't want to be recognized. But you like any celebrity that's going to a red carpet event or any sort of like this photo shoot where they're putting like this is for the public,
sure.
they won't be caught dead wearing something twice. It's just not it's not part of the thing. That's just fashion. It's for the
That shirt
distraction.
it is very similar though to the other one. Like
Mm-hmm.
you know, it's just the stripes. The stripes are thinner in the one. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we could count the stripes, at least
But
try
also
it.
she's saying like the sleeves are different, like this one's longer, that one's
Oh,
shorter.
okay.
But
Okay.
but they're
That's
saying this
true.
as if the AI is not smart enough to put like, oh, I'm just gonna put like longer
Sure.
sleeves on here because you can tell the AI to do whatever. Like take this sweater and give it longer sleeves. Take this sweater, give it a higher chest cut or like a different what's it called? Like a different neckline or whatever. Take this, like give it like, less thick stripes or whatever. It's not like the AI is not capable of doing any of the things that they're saying. That's why it's really interesting. But let's go to what she's going to say about the ring next.
Both were the one, for example, in the recent video, you could see it's a knit style, it's turned up, while the one in the 2016 video looks more like a t-shirt.
Again, this is what I'm talking about. You can tell AI anything and it'll do it. They'll be like, okay, like you want this style like this? Okay, done.
Yeah.
The same thing goes for the hem of this sweatshirt or this top. Then we'll talk about the famous ring video where Kate's ring briefly disappears. There's
I'm just gonna like also like just comment on this girl's announcing of like whatever. Why did she talk? And then we're gonna now go to the ring video. Like, why does she talk like that?
She has pronounced some words very in a way that I've never heard before.
She stretches them out, and I don't understand
it's her accent, I guess.
Is it an accent? Is that okay?
Explanation to this, first of all, it seems to be an optical illusion linked to that of a video compression when you upload videos to social media.
I've heard that before,
which can
too.
cause changes to the background data, especially when there's movement in the video. Since we got the original video that was uploaded on YouTube with a very high
Okay, by the
quality,
way, this
you
part,
can see that no ring disappears from the princess's fingers.
they don't show
and
the
that
part.
can happen.
They don't show the part that it actually does it. Like on here, like I should pull up the actual video. Hold on.
Okay.
Because they don't.
But
These guys didn't show that part that actually does the disappearing.
yeah, but the compression thing is legit. Like that is something that can happen, and it can create optical illusions when you decompress, or rather compress a file to. It's almost like a copy of a copy of a copy, to where you lose details, and especially when there's that kind of movement, weird things can happen. So that is a real possibility there.
Is it though? Is it?
I guess we'll have to pull up the high resolution video, the YouTube one, and see.
I got it. We'll go back to that in a second. Ian, thank you for the 25. Says, but this is the royal family's AI experts. Their prompts are probably AI. Right. Make the sleeves more Tudor and less Regency. It's 100% what's happening. It's 100% what's happening. You got that totally right. And then I think it was Russell Hall. Yeah, Russell Hall for $2 says Kate didn't swallow once. No wonder he dumped her. What?
Wow.
They're still together, Russell. Okay, hold on. Wait, do we want to finish this before we go to the main video, or should we just go?
We can go to the main video if you want.
Okay, here we go.
I'm curious.
Here's the big one. I think, where was it? There was a part. I should have.
Wonder if it's the most watched part. Do you think that part where it peaks? The
right here.
Do you think it is somewhere around there? Maybe people were reviewing that the most.
Maybe. Oh, look.
That looks like.
Look, there's no ring.
Can you full screen it? Just.
No ring.
Now I wonder, is this the original video?
This is the one that I watched the day it got released.
Okay. Is it on? Do you have it on 1080p?
Yes, I believe. No, this is on 720. Hold on, let's go to 1080, and then I can go also like full screen. Here, hold on.
Because I wonder if they ripped this video off of. You think they'd rip it off of YouTube?
Well, oops. Wait, how do we go full screen on this one? Is it this? Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
And then we'll go like this.
Well, and getting.
Do we need to hear her talk? I mean, she sounds exactly like her, though. That's the funny part. No ring.
Yeah. It looks like it does disappear for a second.
It does that several times throughout the whole video. It's not even just once. If you keep paying attention to it, you'll be like, oh my God. Like, where did it go? Is it behind the pants? It's so weird. I'm like mesmerized by her fingers now. Slow times 5. Oh, okay, hold on. Let's see.
Yeah.
Let me do that. Let's go slow. Wait, how do you do that again? Normal speed?
Yep.
Okay, here we go.
Moment of truth.
Was it here?
Too bad we couldn't zoom in.
I know. But other people have zoomed it in too. That's the thing.
Okay, so far it looks like it's blocked. You can kind of see it.
I caught it a few times with my eyes. I was like, oh my God, it's true.
Yeah, so far I haven't seen it disappear yet. It did look like when it was going faster, but I'm thinking too, like the way the light.
Oh my. Darren says, out of the closet and mesmerized by fingers. Yep, checks out. Oh my God. Darren.
Yeah. Does anybody have hand fetishes? I know foot fetishes are a thing, which I don't completely understand.
I don't get it either.
But hand fetishes, I've never heard
Russell,
that.
is there such thing as a hand fetish? You're the weird person in this chat. Russell would know. Pinch and zoom worth. I can't do that on here. Because this is like the PC. But other people have caught it though. That's the thing.
Yeah, so far, I mean, in that spot, it looks like I didn't see it disappear.
What? Hand jobs are very common. Like, well, we know. Of course there is, he says.
Okay, there are hand fetishes.
So hand fetish is a thing.
I mean, it makes sense. I mean, I'm sure.
So the reason I bring this up, though, by the way, it's because I feel like AI is advanced so much that we don't really know anymore. Like today, like I actually just caught another thing from Alex Jones. Like it was like a tweet from Alex Jones, and he was like, he was showing a video that turned out to be an older video actually from like last year about the Ukraine war. But his caption was, you know what? I'll just pull it up because I was like, wow, Alex Jones, of all people, is asking if this is real. And I was like, it's just such an interesting, like we're living in such a, like, it's a kind of like a brave new world where we're living in an interesting time where one of the biggest conspiracy theory people of like on our planet, Alex Jones, is asking if this is real. Is this real? He says about this video. It's like about like some explosion in Ukraine and blah, blah, blah. But the reason I bring up this whole thing about Kate Middleton is that we live in such a time where public officials are being AI created now. So when it comes to really heavily political topics, like let's say, I don't know, the presidential election or anything that has to do with, you know, people of power being put in a place where you can use AI to tell people what they're saying, even if they're not there or whatever, or like put words in them. I mean, the voice AI just alone is so concerning about what's going on. So, and I think that the AI that they used for Kate Middleton is so beyond what we currently have access to, like the public. This is like the top of the line AI that the royals were using, I think. This is just my point of view. I don't like, obviously, I'm not saying that that's the case. As you pointed out, a lot of stuff that could be also true about the compositing and things like that.
Well,
but I think it's just interesting to think about.
Sure. Well, I don't. It's one of those things where I'm not close the idea of the possibility that could be AI. I mean, it's not impossible from at least from what we've seen so far. To assume that they could get something as realistic as what we saw. So I even saw earlier today an account on Twitter, and I had to do like a double check because then I realized it's like, oh, that looks AI. But I'm clicking, I'm like looking at it, and I can't tell. It's like, well, maybe the photo's retouched. Maybe there's certain things. But
it happened to me the other day.
Yeah,
I fell for one the other day. I'll pull this one up. And this one was like kind of crazy because I was like, what happened to you? This one here with this picture going around of this dude, Ryan Gosling.
Yeah. That's got to be fake, right?
I mean, apparently it was, but for a moment,
there's no way. Like,
I was like, oh my God, he's gotten addicted to plastic surgery and fillers. Because a lot of dudes have become addicted to plastic surgery and fillers, especially in the industry. Like there's a lot of dudes that are getting fillers now. So it's just like, it's really like concerning when you see something like that, where my immediate reaction was, oh, that's real because I know that this happens. But then somebody had obviously edited it. So they're saying this is an edited photo, like that it got community noted that this is edited and stuff like that. But
I'm like, why is Ryan Gosling getting anything done? You know,
I know he's like perfect.
You know? if it ain't broke, no need to
But
fix
see,
it.
and that's the thing, John. See, you're that's an interesting perspective. You're like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You know what the biggest, I think, scam slash basically like they're putting this shit into like young girls' minds about fillers and stuff like that is? Like fillers and
The
what's the
buckle
other thing?
surgery, where they remove the fat from the face too.
No. The one, not just fillers. What's the thing? Botox, like Botox.
Oh, okay.
Like they say
Yeah.
that Botox and fillers are preemptive things for aging. Like you do it like preemptively to stop aging, like the the aging process.
That's
And so
stupid.
these girls are doing it younger and younger and younger, thinking that they're preemptively stopping like their crow's feet and shit like that from coming in. And men are starting to do that too. Men are starting to get on this bandwagon of, I got to start doing Botox like around the eyes and the forehead and stuff, just so I can stop the aging process or slow it down a little bit. It's a difficult thing because I actually just watched a movie, not like recently, but like a couple months ago with with the new one with Julia Louis Dreyfus. And one of the subplots of the movie, let me see what this movie was called. But one of the subplots of the movie was that it was like this married couple, and the dude wanted to do Botox, and he was afraid about what his wife would think of him.
I just think it's me personally, and I'm definitely not meaning to offend anybody, but this is just my gut reaction to that. I just find it a little bit. I think we're in I don't know. I think we're in a not so great place in society where men are that focused on their looks.
Their looks, yeah.
Yeah,
I agree.
I understand women to some extent caring about, and don't get me wrong, like there's nothing wrong with taking care of yourself. Having somewhat of a good routine when it comes to your skin, and actually taking care of yourself. That's something that like I wish I slept better for most of my life. I wish I would have
Yeah.
Because that's one thing
Drank
too.
less
That's
coffee. Yeah,
yeah.
like done the
Well,
things that
the coffee thing is a little bit difficult for me, but one thing I could have done was just establish a better sleeping routine, and drinking less coffee. I'm not going to quit completely, but those kind of things are definitely going to be the things that age you. But the whole thing about getting Botox and getting fillers and all this stuff, like I just think if you're, I somewhat get it for women because I'm not saying that I think that they should, but I understand because there's just so much more pressure on women and they put it on themselves, and it's more of kind of a hive mind thing among women too, and they read the Cosmetic and the beauty magazines and all that crap. But I think on average, generally, all of us are probably, at least some of us are just, I don't know about all of us, but some of us are just a little bit we're over concerned about what's on the outside and not probably concerned about what's on the inside enough.
I agree with you on that. I mean, I think that we do that as a society in general. Like, I don't think it's just men or women. I think we're definitely a superficial society. We focus on, I mean, celebrity worship, just generally speaking, is all about being superficial. Because what are these people really doing, right?
Yeah, nobody knows who these celebrities are or what they're really like or anything. And they could be extremely great, great people or terrible people, and you probably wouldn't even really know. So I think we put a lot of faith and confidence in people we don't even know, which is
so this is the movie, by the way, John, and it's about this guy, and he's like, it was actually like not a terrible movie. I'll say it, like it's not a terrible movie. It's just like it was interesting to me that one of the plots was about this man that wants to do Botox, but he's afraid of how he's going to be judged by his wife, and like it was like the whole conversation that we're talking about right now, how more men want to get Botox, more men want to get you know, like that kind of physical
We need to have
treatment on their
the
face.
gay, like the gay meme, you know, on hand, where it's like the one guy that's in the classroom, gay, you know.
They like
Uh,
the gay.
it's maybe
I have this gay meme. Hold on, this one. Wait, this one.
I am not gay. I have relationships with women, sex with men.
And I got news for you. That means you're gay.
If only he said, you know, I only get Botox and you know, cheek fillers.
I know,
That
right?
means you're gay.
I used to have the other one too. The why are you gay? That's probably on another. Like,
yeah, it's even like this image with this poster and this guy and the way he's sitting and the fact that I know that he wants to get Botox or something. It's just like that's a conversation that a wife has with a husband, not the other way around. You know what I'm saying? Like it's
exactly.
like you are it's and correct me if I'm wrong, chat. Maybe I'm wrong here, but it does seem like more of a feminine quality to be that concerned over your looks.
I think so. I think it is definitely a feminine quality, but also this world is kind of like mixing up, right? Like the like, you know, masculinizing women and feminizing men, and I think like that's gone into the zeitgeist. It's gone into like the back of people's. This is what propaganda does. Is you don't even know that it's got like it's gonna get you or how it's gonna get you. So that's why I'm like I felt like this movie was definitely like a bit of propaganda in it. Like it's so normal for guys to be doing this, and a lot of guys are asking these questions now. Like, oh, is it like, am I going to be judged by my wife if I want to get Botox? Like that's an issue now for men. Like, you know, it's just it's really it's just a really fascinating.
It's such a bizarre concept for a movie. Obviously, there's some. This was probably based on a true story or some story out there for somebody to even have the idea of it.
Well, that's actually like the subplot too. Like the main plot is actually about her. It's about she's a writer and it's about like her story, and that's why I'm like it's not like it was a terrible movie, but the movie's synopsis is a novelist's long-standing marriage suddenly turns upside down when she overhears her husband give his honest reaction to her latest book. So she like overhears her husband talking to his friend about her latest book, and he's like brutally honest with a friend, but when it comes to talking to her, he's always like kind of like, oh yeah, your book's great, honey, but like, you know, he's giving like an actual review to his friend, and she overhears it and she's like, oh my god, he thought my book was shit. And like that's like
does it wind up like at the end of the movie is the guy turn out to be a homosexual or
no,
because that even seems
nothing
weird
like
for because like guys don't chat on the phone. Was this movie written by a woman?
No. They weren't on the phone. They were at a bookstore. They were at a bookstore and they're talking, and then she like walks up and she overhears their conversation because she's like going to like see her husband. She was supposed to meet him there, and she's like, oh, there they are. And she's like, as she's approaching, she's like, oh shit, they're talking about my book, and she like kind of hides, and then she overhears what they were saying. Saw one, thank you for a 14-month member message. Thank you. Wow, that is a long time to be a member. Nina, you're looking beautiful as always. Love the new setup. I have not been to the movies since 2020. I'd rather watch you and Sia and Extra Girl and others. Wow, that's a high compliment. Thank you so much. I definitely still go to the movies, but not as often as I want to. But I do watch movies all the time. Like I didn't go to this movie in the theater. I watched this on a plane. Like this was a plane movie.
I will say this. I understand. I to some extent, I understand plastic surgery for men who are like movie stars, you know, who actually star in movies because that's their bread and butter. Like their looks are, their means of making money. So I understand that a little bit more. But yeah, other than that, it's kind
like
of
the male version of Madonna is Mickey Rourke. Like, have you seen what that guy looks like?
Yeah,
like, my God, man.
Yeah, good plastic surgery is like good CGI. You don't even notice it. You know, like it blends in so good. It's only when people make these like huge changes that it gets
ridiculous. It becomes like clown-like, right? You're like,
yeah.
dude, this is so you're like a caricature of yourself. You no longer look human. You look like a caricature of a human. So it
That's
just
like
looks
Michael Jackson. You know, like Michael Jackson before he ever got plastic surgery. I don't understand. You know, he wasn't a
bad-looking guy.
wasn't an
But
ugly guy.
to be fair, Michael Jackson, what happened to him was that he got burned, like at that concert. So then he started like, you know, when he got burned is when he got the major plastic surgery, and then after that, it was like,
see, I wonder if that's a cover
giant
story.
addiction.
You know, I wonder if that you've heard of the Zac Efron thing too. Zac Efron supposedly got in a car accident or something, and he had to get jaw surgery.
I didn't hear about that at all.
He's got this like massive jaw.
No, let's pull up a picture of Zac Efron. What's going on with him? I haven't heard about this at all.
Let me see if I can find this. And he happened to be in this movie where he's playing this wrestler who happens to.
Oh my God, what happened to him?
Did you see this?
Dude, he looks completely different.
Yeah.
I'm pulling up a picture, guys. Don't worry. It's happening right now.
I will say the jaw
this
thing.
Is major plastic surgery right here. This isn't. Oh my God.
I would say like
at
least getting jaw surgery, which his is pretty extreme. But it definitely is a much more like masculine look. Yeah.
Now let me pull up a picture of like his before kind of thing. Mind you, this is, I guess, I don't know. I mean, he is younger in here. But then again, I don't know. Like, this is definitely a.
Well, no, he got surgery because he got in an accident. You know, supposedly that's the reason. So it's not even a matter of like he's not denying surgery happened, but he was saying that it was he got in an accident and he had to have this surgery to fix his jaw or something. Which obviously it's very cosmetic looking.
Russell says still looks good. Hey, Russell.
I am not gay. I have relationships with women, sex with men.
And I got news for you. That means you're gay.
Nina's got it out for Russell.
Come on, you made it too easy, Russell. That was fun. I don't know if I'd say Zac Efron still looks good. I think he looks really weird looking now. He looks, I don't know. He just looks weird now. He doesn't look human anymore. He looks like the weird kind of human, like the alien look. It's starting. Look, if he doesn't stop now, he's gonna end up like Mickey Rourke. Like he needs to stop. This has to be a stopping point. Like I don't think Zach's ever gonna see this, but if you ever do, Zach, stop.
Yeah, his chin, like they definitely did something with his jaw and his chin. Looks like it's.
Hey, at least Russell's honest. Ian saying, Zach, I dropped the soap again. Oh my God, you guys.
They've got what's called a jaw. I use it from time to time. I probably haven't used it consistently enough, but it's called the jawser size. And
I remember that thing that like you like squeeze.
Yeah.
It's kind of like doing Kegels for your mouth.
Yeah. I do think it works. I do think it works a little bit. And I think there's other exercises you can do for your jawline. Losing body fat too is one thing that will definitely enhance or pronounce your jawline more.
That's definitely a thing. I mean, that happens with women as well. Like when you lose a lot of weight, because I mean, I lost a lot of weight and I was heavy. When I was heavy, like I had my whole face shape changed because I was like round, and now I'm like not so round.
Yeah, it shows up. Definitely shows up in the face for sure.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I did see this weird headline today. I thought I'd pull up just because I didn't read the article, but I figured we can read it together. Oh my God. Saw says I lost 70 pounds. Good for
Congrats.
you.
Yeah.
Excellent. This is the article. It says woman shocked to learn that her Hamptons home was fraudulently listed on Airbnb after call to wire $25K.
Dang.
Dude, I'm not a big Airbnb person. Are you?
No, are you meaning in terms of using, like, getting an
To get
Airbnb, renting one out?
Yeah, like instead of a hotel, like do you ever find yourself being like, oh, I'm gonna go to an Airbnb instead of hotel?
I've never thought about it, and I never would. I would just get a hotel.
Yeah, same here. I mean, there's been a lot of times where but for me, I like the hotel experience. Like I like somebody coming to my room and cleaning my room. I like the room service. Like I don't want to go and clean my own house. Like that is not what I'm doing on a vacation. Like I'm not there to like keep clean and tidy and like, whatever. But also I've heard of like nightmare scenarios where like the Airbnb people like put like hidden cameras in the bathroom and like weird shit. Like I've heard like nightmare stories about like
Dang.
perverts running Airbnbs.
Yeah.
So like,
yeah.
I'm not interested in any of this. And then you hear stuff like this, like the Airbnb after call to wire 25K. So let's read the story. This doesn't exactly put the real estate, but a Corcoran agent who owns a home in the Hamptons has found herself engaged in an Airbnb scam. Sarah Stewart, the homeowner, was taken aback when she received a call inquiring about wiring $25K for a rental request that she knew nothing about, as reported by The Real Deal. It turns out that East Hampton's property had been fraudulently listed on the platform without her knowledge. How is that even possible?
Right. Can you like can you sell a house that isn't even yours? I mean, it's so
that's so weird. Like,
but it would be okay.
Put,
so
pictures?
It's an Airbnb. It's Airbnb. So it's not necessarily selling it, but it's a rental thing.
It's a rental that they're putting it for rent.
They're like, oh, we're on vacation here. We're like, if somehow or another she didn't get the wire, but the money got transferred to the people who were doing the scam, and then somebody shows up to their house, and they're like on vacation, and this woman's like, "What are you doing here?"
Well, wait a minute. Isn't that the topic of that? Isn't that actually like the plot of that movie that kind of happens with? No, that was a little bit different. It was like the new, like I call it the Obama movie because apparently Obama produced it.
Oh,
but the one on Netflix,
but I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, like a bunch of this couple shows up to an Airbnb place, and then the people who rented it to them show up, and they're like, "This is our house. Like we're here to stay here." And then they're like, "Because the world is quote unquote ending or whatever." And they're like, "Yeah, we're here to like stay in our own house because we got like blocked and we're here." And then they're like, "How do we know that this is your house?"
Right.
It was an interesting premise at the start. I'll say that. Like it was pretty interesting. But anyway, so this goes. Stewart typically rents out her 5-bedroom Hamptons abode through well, I can't say this freaking word. Corcoran during the spring and summer seasons, but never through Airbnb. The property boasting proximity to the ocean and 2 outdoor showers is currently available for $175,000 for the month and a month of August through Labor Day. Damn, that's a lot of money.
Man.
Holy shit.
Yeah, you're doing pretty well. You could rent out your house even a few times out of the year. $175,000 for a month. Who even has it's movie stars and
That's like royalty money right there.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, that's nothing to some people, but very few people like to just
mhm.
175 grand a month. I mean, you can buy a house for 175 grand.
I
I
know.
mean,
That's what I was
not a
just
great, not a
thinking. I'm
great
like,
house, but not a
in
house anywhere near that
Mexico, no, in Mexico, you can buy a really nice house
for
for
175 grand.
175,000.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not true. That's not true. But like, you can buy land, you can buy property, you can buy like not a really nice house, but like you can buy like an
Yeah.
okay house, you know.
Yeah, no, you could. I mean, even where I live, you can get a decent house for 175K. Like, you're not going to get brand new construction, of course, but you could probably find something decent and nice
Mhm.
for that amount. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty serious money to just rent something for a month. I mean, that's where I'm talking about the frugality thing, where even if I was rich, I just could not justify. I just can't justify spending that type of money. I guess. I mean,
Neither
maybe if
can
you're like
I.
a billionaire, if you got Jeff
But then
Bezos type of
again,
money,
like you hear that about rich people though, John, like about rich people being cheap. Like,
yeah,
you know, remember like Mr. Burns, like, does anyone have change for a button? Like that, you know, that's a thing. Like rich
yeah,
people, the reason they're rich is because they're usually not too frugal with money. In fact, the
yeah,
people who are like basically not born rich, usually the people who blow their money away like this is people who are like get rich
inherit
quick.
it.
Like, you know, they you know they win the lottery, or you know, like
Yeah,
something happens in their life, like they're OnlyFans stars and they like, you know, just get all this money and then they're like they just lavishly live and they don't understand what they're doing with their money because they don't have any comprehension about, you know, money saving or taxes, or like, you know,
yeah,
like how much money is taxes, like how much money you're going to pay on $175,000 like renting to, you know, a place or whatever. They don't think about that stuff like that, so they just blow all their money without thinking. Like they just go buy like tons of cars and stuff, and it's crazy, man.
happens.
um
Yeah, a lot of athletes do
Athletes
that.
do that a
Yeah,
lot. It's true. Stewart expressed her shock at discovering the scam when the prospective renter mentioned the unauthorized request for payment. It's terribly upsetting and violating my privacy, Stewart told the outlet. I'm at a loss. She promptly contacted Airbnb to have the fraudulent listing removed. Despite initial removal efforts by Airbnb, the listing resurfaced shortly thereafter. Damn. Stewart escalated her complaint with Airbnb's customer service channels, only to be advised to communicate directly with the supposed host and disclose her contact detail, an unsettling proposition for Stewart due to concerns over her personal information. How is this helpful at all? Like
yeah,
in any way, shape, or form? Somebody's like basically like trying to identity theft her and being like, I'm renting my house, pay me money. And these people are like, go contact the person who's trying to scam you and give them your private information. On what earth? That's
yeah,
insane. That's
yeah.
insane. What an insane response from Airbnb. Ultimately, it was copyright takedown notice from Corcoran that prompted Airbnb to, wow, look at this, a copyright takedown notice. That prompted the Airbnb to strip the listing for good, according to TR. That's hilarious. It goes to show how powerful copyright takedown notices are.
What the hell? How is that even like a thing
Like
for
basically,
Airbnb?
like on the picture, I'm guessing like they copyrighted the picture and they were saying this is
Oh,
like our picture. You can't share this or whatever. That's what I'm guessing. Like we're the
okay.
rightful owners of the picture. Who knows what that person or persons will do with my information, Stewart added. While the ordeal left Stewart deeply disturbed, Airbnb assured that such incidents aren't common. Well, I mean, that's kind of a cope, isn't it? like,
Yeah,
don't worry, guys.
yeah,
Shit like this doesn't usually happen. Usually. We just usually deal with a lot of great perverts putting cameras into things and a lot of great. But, you know, other than that, everything's cool, guys. Everything's
yeah. I
cool.
never even thought about trying to pull off a scam like that, but I don't
Now you
see.
are.
It's like, yeah, no, but it kind of makes sense that how you could. if you were able to do it, you know, and pull it off. But
it's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Fake listings have no place in our community, and following investigation, we removed the user and listing from the platform, Airbnb said in a statement.
You think there'd be
Like
some
this,
like you think there'd be some sort of like punishment or consequences? Like
absolutely, there should be.
Not
I
just
don't
like,
know what.
oh, we just removed them. I mean, there should be like a lawsuit or something
Something. I mean, isn't there
to
like this is
discourage
almost a
this type of
criminal
behavior.
activity. Like this is not.
I'd
I
say
mean,
it
they weren't successful in making it a criminal activity, but they were trying to do criminal activity. So
Yeah.
like, where is the consequences for this? It's like, oh, we just took
Maybe
down
they
this
can't trace them.
fraudulent account. Like
They probably can't. They're probably somebody in Nigeria or something.
it's a Nigerian prince.
Nigerian, email scam or something.
You know, like somebody tried to do that to me once, like the Nigerian prince thing, like years ago. Thankfully, I didn't fall for it. So I was like,
what was it for you?
It was a rental, actually. It was a rental issue. We were trying
okay.
to rent one of the rooms in our house. And then they were like, somebody contacted me and they were like, I'm a Nigerian like prince or whatever. And my son is coming to Canada, like on a student visa. They're supposed to like arrive like from this date to this date. And I need like this rental from this date to this date. If you send me your information, I can wire you some money right now. And I was like, I'm not sending you my freaking information. Like, go away. Like it was, but at first when they started, like they didn't start the conversation with like, that's why I even contacted them initially. They didn't start the conversation with like, I'm a Nigerian prince, this and this and this. They were like, hi, I'm looking for the rental. Like, is it still available? Like at first, that's the initial contact. And so I was like, yes, it is still available. Are you interested? Kind of thing. Like, and then they would write me back and like all this shit. And I was like, get the out of here. And then they tried to like, it was so crazy. And then like, because they would try to be like, he called me again. I don't remember exactly what happened, but then he called me again and he was like, you agreed to like to rent me this thing and like now you owe me money. Like, I don't know. It was like this whole thing. I don't remember exactly how it's solved, but I was like, dude, go get fucked. And I just blocked the number and never answered it again. This was actually back in when we still had landlines too. So it wasn't like I couldn't even block the number. So they kept calling me. I had to like change my number. It's like, well,
I got scammed when I was in my early well, I don't know. How old was I? Yeah, I think I was in my 20s and I was selling something on Craigslist, I think. Was it Craigslist?
Yeah,
it was like a bunch of
Craigslist is a thing. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a bunch of random computer parts and there was something where you had to, I don't know, they were going to send the money. Was it via PayPal? I even like it was so long ago. I forgot how the scam went, but yeah, I probably lost. I might have lost like $150 on the thing.
Oh, that's not too bad.
I can't remember if I got the money back or not. But yeah, at the end of the email though, like, man, how quickly those guys change their tune when you like call them out.
Ooh, yeah,
yeah,
and they become like really vicious usually.
Oh yeah.
It's like, oh my God, we're busted.
I was pissed off. But you live and learn.
So yeah, Airbnb, I don't know. I don't usually recommend, but honestly, like I also know on the other hand, I also know a lot of people who've had great experiences with Airbnb. Like pretty much all my friends have had great experiences with it. I'm just like one of those people. It's like not a fan. Like I just don't like the idea is weird to me, just generally speaking, like living in someone else's house.
Yeah.
Is kind of just weird.
Yeah. I find the whole thing weird. And I think I would find the whole thing of like renting out my house. Like I'm even a little bit leery of the idea of buying real estate to rent it out just because of all the stories of squatters and, or just people that are going to, which is the equivalent of a squatter, right? It's just somebody who's gonna.
Yeah, I mean that actually. Well, that actually happened. Not a well, I guess kind of a squatter. Like that happened to me, and real like and like in my real life situation, like we didn't have an Airbnb. We had like a place for rent. And then the guy that rented at the house, like, first of all, he was like abusing his dog, like in our house. We had to call like the SPCA on the guy. He wasn't paying us rent. He wasn't cleaning up after his dog. So we kept getting fined because we were in, what's it called? Those places that they charge you money, like a certain amount of money, like each month to clean the place. And
like a condo, or you had like an HO, like
like a gated community.
Sure.
Like you have like one of those things.
There's rules and
yeah, I hate those freaking things. Never again. I hate those places. Like the homeowners associations and shit. Like, get the fuck out of here. But anyways, a strata. That's what it was called. It was called a strata in Canada. So we were part of a strata, and there was so they would charge us money if like anything was off. You weren't able to be like an individual. Like you have to like be part of like the collective kind of thing, because it's like board houses. They all want like the same coloring and the same thing and blah blah blah. So anyways, this dude would take out his dog in the yard, like in the back or whatever, and the dog would just shit everywhere, and the guy wouldn't clean it up. So we kept getting fined over and over. And it was a complete nightmare. Like after dealing with when you deal with a bad tenant, it's like you never, ever, ever want to deal with it. To this day, I have PTSD. Like if my husband ever brings it up, like I'm like, I can't talk about this right now. Like talking about it right now, it's giving me like flashbacks of PTSD.
Yeah, it was like it was such a pain in the ass or a stressful situation.
Yeah. It was bad. It was a really bad situation. So I'm like, because of that, I'm like, I would never voluntarily like rent my house out to anyone unless I was like desperate for money. Like if I was like, I need money this month for rent, like, then I have to rent something like that. But I would never do it. I would just never do it again. Okay. Last topic that I have, topic that I pulled up. This one was really interesting to me. Eric Estrada. No, just Strata House. You think everything is weird, though. I do think everything is weird, including this. This is weird. Here we go. So I'm guessing you know what the Voyager is, John. The Voyager satellite.
Yeah. I mean, I've heard of it.
Okay, so the Voyager satellite is a satellite. It's a deep space satellite that we have, and it's what was the topic of Star Trek, like the first movie, Voyager. So this is an interesting article for me because apparently Voyager kind of went. I wouldn't say missing, but like stopped sending signals back for a few months. So this is what happened and what they had to do to fix it. So it says Voyager 1 resumes sending readable status updates after 5 months of repairs. The pioneering Voyager 1 deep space probe is once again sending usable engineering updates back to Earth after 5 months of repairs, NASA officials announced Monday. Voyager 1, which along with its twin Voyager 2 are the only spacecraft to ever fly in the interstellar space, has not been able to send readable data about its health or scientific mission since November 14th. So this is really interesting sentence because it's been sending data, but it's not readable data. So this is a very interesting sentence, just generally speaking.
Sounds like a movie. Like a movie plot or something.
Yes, it does. But following lengthy and sophisticated attempts to establish a technological workaround, NASA revealed Monday its engineers had succeeded in once again receiving Voyager's engineering status updates that can be deciphered. Its scientific data reports, however, remain unreadable, and it is the next issue to be addressed, the agency said. Scientists with NASA Jet Propulsion Laboratory in California confirmed that the problem was traced to one of the craft's 3 onboard computers called the Flight Data Subsystem, or FDS, which was responsible for packaging the science and engineering data before it's sent to Earth. They discovered that a single chip in the FDS is malfunctioning. Again, this is malfunctioning. And as a fix, worked on transmitting the code containing in the chip into a series of 3 other locations within the FDS, a complicated maneuver and involving a sophisticated series of changes necessary to ensure the various components could still function together. So what I get from this is that this thing, because it's taking all this information, and just like, you know, in the movie, it's taking all this information, and it's gotten so much information now that it cannot formulate what's going on. So like, a part of me thinks, wouldn't it be really so interesting if it was becoming sentient? Because once it becomes sentient, it won't be able to communicate what it wants with us, and for them to have to cut down the program into different aspects in order to kind of like refix it and put it together is fascinating. Because it was
you mean like self-aware, or like
yes, I'm
you're
thinking self-aware, sentient. Like it's gotten so much information that they had to cut up its code in order to be able to like fix it. So I think that's really interesting. Like saying, discovered that a single chip in the FDS is malfunctioning, and as a fix, worked on transmitting the code contained in the chip into a series of 3 other locations within the FDS. A complicated maneuver involving sophisticated series of changes. So they had to like split it and put it in different parts because it was too big. Because Voyager 1, sorry, what was that?
Oh no, I'm just thinking like this is just a great plot for a film.
There's already a film about
if there's
this.
Is there? Well, which one?
It's called Star Trek. It's called Star Trek.
Is it this exact plot, or?
It's pretty much close. This, because they're like, you know, Voyager comes back and then they don't realize it's Voyager. It's Voyager, the deep space craft that we sent out, and then finally comes back, but it's sentient now.
Are we talking about the Star Trek movie?
Yes, the Star Trek movie. Exactly.
The original one. Okay.
Movie, the original.
I saw it. It's like for some reason the plot line doesn't stand out to me. It's been a little while.
You should go watch it again tonight, and then you'll remember. You'll be like, "Oh my god, this is the plot of the movie."
Wrath of Khan was a lot better, I thought.
Yes. Oh my god, I hated this movie, Ian. Don't tell me you like this movie, because I was like, 2 hours of my life I'll never get back. Just like that other movie of his, about the gems. What was it called?
Uncut Gems?
Uncut Gems. That's right. Terrible.
Wow.
Just
some
awful.
people really like that movie.
I know.
Must be pretty debates. Polarizing.
It's very polarizing. The most distant man-made object in space is more than 15 billion miles away. Long waits of nearly 24 hours were necessary to complete each step of the modifications. But on Saturday, NASA received confirmation that the changes were completed and successful as the probe once again began sending back readable engineering data. Meanwhile, Voyager 2 continues to operate normally, they said. The twin Voyager spacecraft were launched in 1977 and remain the longest running and most distant spacecraft in human history.
That's wild.
So it's very, very interesting. I think this is
for 50 years now. Is that right? Almost. Yeah, almost 50.
I didn't like it, especially when he nearly shags the spider. Oh my god, like it was just so fucking mental. I was like, this is so dumb. Like the fact that they even had to make it a spider like made no sense to me, Ian. I was like, why couldn't they just give it a cooler look? Like if it was an alien, why is it a spider? Like it shouldn't have been a spider. I think it was just a dumb idea to make it a spider. At first, I thought it was going to be like, oh, it's in his head. And like, maybe it's because he has a fear of spiders or something. It's like shaping itself into that. And then it's going to shape itself into something else or like whatever. But then no, it was like a spider the whole time. It was dumb. Such a dumb movie.
I know there was they had a lot of problems with that first Star Trek film, I guess, behind the scenes. I think
What do you mean?
well, I guess it was whoever was in charge of it. At least this is what I remember hearing, was that it became more about the special effects than the actual movie or the story itself.
Wow.
That was from some of the cast or some of the people that were. Yeah, it's not. It's definitely not the. It's not the most beloved Star Trek film.
I love it. I think it's great.
Really, the first
Yeah.
one.
I
Okay.
love that. I love that story. I just think it's such a cool story. I really liked it. I mean, it's so funny that people say that now about Star Trek, about it being like stuff like, oh, it was more focused on like special effects and the story, and I'm like, dude, it's such a great story. Like they loved story back then. Like it was all about the story back in the day, most of the time.
Yeah, I forgot who said. I
Yeah,
think it
I'm a
might. I
fan.
don't know if it was like William Shatner. I think it was more like the problems they had filming it. I think it was like a problematic shoot. It was not like a smooth shoot at all.
Oh, maybe it was
I could be wrong.
problematic because William Shatner was hitting on all the chicks on the set.
Maybe.
Maybe that's what they meant by problematic.
I'm almost curious in terms of like what were the stories going on Star Trek first.
What do people in the chat think of Star Trek, like the Voyager Star Trek? Do you guys like it? I don't know. I like that movie. I think it's a good movie. I wonder. The chat enjoyed it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it was terrible, but I did think thought the second one was a little bit more entertaining. The third one was okay. I think the fourth one was better. But I'm not like a huge Star Trek fan.
Wrath of Khan. Yeah, most people like Wrath of Khan. I mean, it's like that. I think that's most people's favorites. The new uniforms were bunk. That's funny. Was William a free man and hunting for chicks at the time? I don't know. I would assume so. I mean, he was a red-blooded male. I don't know. I like that movie. I wonder if
there's so much
Voyager
stuff
has
written about
obtained
this.
warp drive yet. That's next. Just wait until it runs into the Borg. Okay. Let's see. There was like, did I have anything else I want to talk to you about? I did see a headline saying masturbation can lower prostate cancer, John. And then just FYI.
I think I've heard that before. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not I know there's a lot of people on YouTube that are like, well, I think the Nofap phase is gone. Seems like there's not a whole lot of, but I just can't imagine putting videos out there talking about semen retention, like that being your thing, like your claim to fame on YouTube. Like it's just such a weird thing. Like, why?
Semen retention? What?
Yeah, Nofap. You ever heard about that?
I don't think I have.
Yeah, it's like this idea of like not jerking off or even not having sex, and that your manly essence is stronger because of it.
I've heard that. Isn't that true though? Like, isn't that what they say to, like, I've heard that be used in two ways. One, if you're an athlete and you have like a big game coming up or whatever, like they tell you not to masturbate or have sex, like because they want you to have like sexual tension when you're when you're going to have a big game or whatever. They don't want you to release until afterwards. So that's one. The other one I've heard, that if you're trying to get pregnant with a girl, you're not supposed to masturbate as much so that you can keep like, you know,
You got more in the tank.
Yes, so that you
Yeah.
can when you release, like it's more extreme. That's what I've heard. I mean, I don't know if that's true. Obviously, I'm not a dude, so I wouldn't know.
No, there's definitely the more no fapping or semen retention that you do, there's definitely a noticeable difference for sure. Like,
Okay,
for
I'm
sure.
glad you're confirming that.
Yeah. Women, if they're at least, I mean, for me personally, that's the case, and I'm sure it's the case for a lot of guys. Like women
Abe is
will
like, I didn't do it
women
for
will let
one
you
day.
know,
I am
like,
now
wow.
Superman.
Yeah. Like there's definitely, I think there's more, and it's more yeah, I'll just leave it at that. We won't get into
Extreme.
the
It's
details.
more.
It's
It's more. It's just more.
At least, yeah, that's been my
I feel
experience.
like this might be one of those like science trademark things, though. I don't know about it being okay for prostate cancer. I'm not really sure about this, but
it's one of those things. It can lower.
sure.
You know,
I
it's
mean,
like obviously you probably don't want a buildup of like that. Can't be good either if there's like no release for
right.
long periods of time. Like that's probably not normal either.
Well, I think that's also why, like, again, that's why men become like really like they become kind of aggressive. Not that women don't. Like that's
Yeah.
why a lot, like, you know, like I think we become aggressive just generally speaking. Like that's why a lot of times when like women are like really like bitchy or whatever, like people are like, man, like they need to clear out her cobwebs, like, you know, because it's like it gets like that. You're like, you know, people like, I think we're all the human species. Like you need to let go of the sexual energy once in a while. So I kind of get that. Marilyn says that's exactly how I feel about my gun. Damn. Oh my gosh. You must release the tension. Exactly. Because I mean, sometimes if you know, if you don't, you might end up arguing for really stupid reasons. But yeah, so there you go. I mean, this dude's clearly like,
yeah,
wow.
that's well, there's definitely like
the graphics of it. That's it. I'm gonna stop scrolling on this now before I get banned on YouTube.
Yeah, no, there's like a you know, you have endorphins. There's things going on there where, and it's definitely better to probably have sex with a person versus yourself. You know,
Mhm.
I think the effects are probably a lot better for you, but
Definitely.
yeah.
Um,
But I would say, yeah, I don't think Nofap or any of that's like extremely healthy either.
I'm with you. Again, people have to find the right balance, you know, like you really have to find the right balance to things. So here's also something that happened to me last night. I really didn't expect it, John, but I was bawling my eyes out watching this movie. Like I was like, I started watching this. Have you heard about this movie, Arthur the King?
No.
I love Mark Wahlberg.
Does the dog die? Is that why?
No, he doesn't die, but he becomes like a spoiler alert. People, spoiler
Nina's
alert.
about to spoil this movie.
He like because that's actually like a question a lot of people have been asking is like, does the dog die? So the answer is no, not in the movie. He doesn't die in the movie. But in the movie, like him getting to the point of being healthy again is very upsetting to watch because he is very sick throughout the movie, and he's just like it's hard to watch. It's a hard to watch movie. But like at the end, like it has a happy ending because like the dog does live. So Yes, it has a happy ending. But
Is
like
this
just
based
generally
off of a
speaking,
true story or what? What's
yes,
the
it is.
okay?
It's based on a true story about this guy, Michael. Hold on, I'll bring it up. It's based on this true story of this guy who does which I honestly didn't even know was a thing. Like these people that like race in the jungle and stuff like that. Like I was like, wow, people do like the weirdest shit. Hold on, let me bring this up. It's based on this dude Michael Brandt, and he does like these races that are like throughout like the different countries, and they do like different things. Like they do like climbing and running, and all the active things, rowing and like whatever else. It's based on this guy's life right here, and so this guy. Let me just pull up the picture. This guy was doing like a run. That's him and the real dog. He was doing like one of these races in I don't know if it was Costa Rica, because in the true story is that they were somewhere else, but in the movie they were in Costa Rica. There's Mark with the fake dog, well, real dog but fake dog. This is and then anyway, so he meets this dog at one of the like the rest stops in that country where they're like just like drinking water and like whatever else, getting ready for like the next stretch of the race. And like he feeds the dog a meatball, and the dog basically follows them around like the entire race. And so like they become friends with the dog, and it's like this whole like the adventure about the dog, and like the movie's about that. And it's a really, really sweet movie. I really enjoyed it. I just didn't expect to cry that much, because you're thinking to yourself like, oh, I probably will get misty eyed, like because I know myself, like I know like animal, but I get misty eyed like every week doing it for help. I'm just like, oh my god. But I was like ugly crying in this movie, man. I was like, like for a while too. Like I was like, oh my god, when is this gonna end? Like I can't like go on. It's so much. So it's very emotional. If you need like an emotional release,
I am not watching this movie.
you gotta watch that.
It's something about animals too. I don't like yeah. I don't think I'm really big on animal movies, but gosh, you make animals suffer in a movie, or you do something like that. It's just like I really don't want to watch that.
I know, way to sell it, Nina. I know, but it's the important thing about the movie though, like the message of the movie that I liked was the dude, like the main dude that the story was about, was that he didn't give up. Like, and that was the thing like about the story, is that like in his life, he had come to a moment where like he had failed. He had failed very badly. And he had come to a moment in his life where he was like, well, I could just let this be my legacy and I can be a total failure and be whatever. Or I can keep going and like, just like go get it. You know what I mean? And he did. And like that, I think is I like those kind of movies, because it's just like about the human strength and will and like, that kind of thing. I really, really speaks to me. And I love the fact that like in the movie too, his wife was so supportive of him. And that was one of the things that was also really cool to see, because usually you don't get to see those kind of movies anymore, where like, oh, like a supporting nuclear family. Like that doesn't usually happen. Like it's always like, I'm a single dude doing single things, or like the wife is like, he cares more about the race than me. I'm leaving him. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's usually he comes back to a broken home because the wife like, wanted him to be there. That's not a thing. Like in the movie, like they're a very nice, happy family. It's very sweet. So I didn't watch Hot Cheat because I heard it's too sad. Like I was like, I don't have the heart to watch that kind of shit. Like it's too much. The animal movies get me, man. I'm telling you. It's been a long time since I've watched a movie with animals in it. But yeah, it was a good movie though. I did enjoy it. I also like the other Marky Mark movie, the new one that he had. You would like that one, John.
I'm
It's
not a
called
big Mark. I don't think I'm a big
the.
Mark Wahlberg fan.
Oh, really? Well, this
Yeah,
other
like
movie
Mark
I thought was
Wahlberg
fun.
is like this. He is Mark Wahlberg in every movie. Like
He's definitely Mark Wahlberg in
The
this movie.
The Departed was a movie where it's like I felt like there was definitely some, some acting or something different going on there. That's not to say Mark Wahlberg hasn't been in good movies, but Boogie Nights I think is one where he's actually pretty good. Does a really good job, but he just feels like Mark Wahlberg in so many movies he does. Like there's no.
I understand what you're saying. I mean, a lot of people say that about Keanu Reeves too. Like they're like, "Oh, Keanu Reeves, just Keanu Reeves." I personally like both of them in their own like I'm fine with that. Like a Marky Mark movie
I don't
for
dislike
me
him
is
as a
fine.
person. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I get it. I get it. But if you did want to watch a Marky Mark movie, I do recommend the other one because I think you're gonna like this other one. It's called The Family Plan, and that one's more like up his usual alley of like, like it's kind of like a spy thriller fun movie. It's like it's pretty cool. Like it's like a spy movie.
Okay.
So that one I do recommend that one, and it's not on Netflix, so you actually be able to watch
Oh man.
When was the last movie you watched? Like when was the last time you watched
on
a movie now?
Netflix?
Or on any like anything?
Oh,
like,
I've got Amazon, I've got Disney Plus, even I've got
you're
HBO
into weird
Max.
horror movies. Did you watch that new
Yeah,
one with
a little
Sydney
bit.
Sweeney?
No, Immaculate. No, I didn't see
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I wouldn't say I'm into horror movies, but I just
you
happen
like
to.
them though.
If
You
I
like
hear
weird ones.
they're good, I'll watch them.
See, this one
But
has been
lately,
mixed. That's why I'm like, I was wondering if
yeah,
you'd seen it. I wanted to know what you thought of it.
yeah, I read I heard of the plot, and I'm like, just not anything. I mean, I'd watch it for like Sydney Sweeney, but but other than that, it's not necessarily. I'm gonna wait till I can stream it for free, I guess, rather than
Yeah, sure. I understand that.
But yeah, I wound up. Oh, I also got Mubi, which is another streaming service, and they've got a bunch of kind of art house. Yeah, they've got a bunch of like art house independent films or foreign films on there. So I've seen some interesting.
Cool.
Yeah, it's a different flavor of movie on there for sure.
Okay, so what was the last one you watched that you liked? Like, what's a movie you liked recently?
There was a movie called Greener Grass on there. I think it's from like 2019. And yeah, that was it's just it's an out there film. It's a one of a kind movie. So those are the kind of movies that I've seen so many movies that I'm looking for something unique, something different, not the same old generic thing. Or at least, dress it up differently. Because I can't, I just find that a lot of movies are, especially.
Do you
like
find yourself watching a lot of foreign films then? Because I feel like
a little bit, yeah.
You're just because I mean Hollywood is just so Hollywood,
Yeah. Like
even like this Family Plan movie that I'm telling you about, it's Hollywood. Like there's definitely a flavor,
Yeah.
Like it's not.
And there's nothing wrong. Like I don't mind like basic 3-act structure or whatever, but it's just sometimes a lot of movies they feel just predictable or
hollow.
Just they're just there's not enough for them to stand out or be interesting. So
when was the last time you went to the theater?
I saw the Batman. Yeah, so that was
wow.
A while ago.
So it was a while ago.
Yeah.
Did you see the Joker trailer?
I might see that. Too? I might actually go to the theater and see that. We'll see.
Really? Yeah. You're actually interested in like the musical aspect because it is going to be a musical.
I'm more curious, than anything.
I think that movie's gonna do like amazing. Meaning like I think like number wise. Like I don't know if it's gonna be amazing, but I think like it's gonna be amazing like for the theaters.
Yeah, I think it could go. It definitely could go either way. It will be the initial response, how people respond to it, whether or not it's going to cross. And because the original Joker did over $1 billion.
Mhm.
I don't know. I don't know if this one is going to do that because I feel like it's going to be. It could. I could see it going either way, but not everybody is a huge fan of musicals.
I know.
So we'll see. Like if there's not a whole lot of music in it,
I think this is gonna be a real big female hit movie though, like because more
be.
women like musicals and more women like Harley. And I think a
Sure.
lot of women are gonna go to this movie because of that. Personally,
Yeah.
it's just my theory. I don't know if it's gonna work out, but
Well, people like I know a lot of people aren't. Well, I don't want to say a lot. I'm fine with it. I think like Lady Gaga's fine with. I'm gonna take that personally.
do you enjoy a good musical once in a while, John?
No, not really. I think La La Land wasn't bad though.
I
For
liked
like
La La Land. I thought it was
a
good.
modern musical. It wasn't like too much music, and it felt a little bit somewhat grounded, but it was, it was artful. It was artsy.
Dude, I
So
actually loved La La Land when it came out. And it was funny because a lot of my girlfriends hated that movie. Like, and I
really,
really liked it
why?
because most of the women that I know hated the ending because it was not a happy ending.
That's what that's
So
one of the things I appreciated about it.
that's what I liked about
Yeah.
it. Like, I was like, this is actually really good. Like, because it was like it just was so real. Like, it was so raw and real, and like it just felt like it wasn't like this same old they're gonna end up together in the end kind of thing. Like it was just very different, and I like that about it. I thought it was great. The funny part though was that the night that I went to La La Land, the friend that I went with a girlfriend of mine, and she had broken up with her boyfriend that day before we
Damn.
went to the movies. And so when we came out of the movie, she was like, I fucking hate this movie. And I was like, why? And she was like, this was the worst movie ever. She's like going off. And I was like, what's wrong with you? Like, what the hell happened? And she was like, I just broke up with like my boyfriend before this movie. And I was like, oh my God, this is like the worst movie to watch if you're gonna go like if you had just broken up with someone.
Yeah.
Worst.
But the thing about that ending though is it's somewhat bittersweet. Like it's not like it's a downer for sure. And but it's not a complete downer. The way Gosling looks at Emma Stone's character at the end, there's something there where it's just like it's bittersweet. Like he got what he wanted, but he's kind of playing it through his head. They're both playing through their head of like what could have been.
I love that. It was such a cool, like I love that about it. And it's so funny because I've been trying to convince my husband to watch it for years, and he's like, fuck no. Like he would like never, because he's like just not a musical person. Like he's like, I would never watch this movie. And I've been trying. I'm like, it's not the way you think it is. Like it's not like it's not just like that kind of musical. And he's just like, I don't care. I'm not watching it.
Well, it's like Damien Chazelle, the guy who wrote and directed it. It really is like a love letter to. You could see the inspiration for, like he was taking a lot from like the 1950s, 1940s.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So what the hell was that musical? The one that was a big inspiration for him. Gosh dang, forgetting
Wasn't it
it.
Rent? Or maybe it wasn't. I don't know.
It was it's from the 1940s, and I don't know why it's escaping me. But anyways, that one is actually Singing in the Rain. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, yeah, because they did the whole Singing in the Rain thing too, like in the movie.
Well, that singing, like the scene was actually added to the film, believe it or not, for Singing in the Rain. It didn't even have a Singing in the Rain scene, but that was added after the fact. But when I saw that film, though, it felt like it was comparatively to other movies, like it was ahead of its time. And I kind of feel the same about like La La Land. La La Land was just the look of it, the whole way it's done. I don't know. I thought it did a great job of mixing like old and new.
Agreed.
And it was just an easy watch. Like it's a very quick 2 hours. At least I thought so. But yeah, I don't know. I can appreciate the amount of effort and time it takes to try to nail down those sequences where it's like they only had 2 opportunities to get the one where they're dancing and like on the Hollywood Hills with the background and stuff. And so the time they shot it, they only had enough time to do it twice.
Yeah.
Just with the camera setups and
it's kind of incredible what they achieved, really. Like,
yeah,
with that scene.
That's the tough thing about musicals is, you know, everything's got to be in sync and yeah, but I don't know. Sometimes they work. So it'll be interesting to see what Joker Part 2 does.
When you watch, like, because when I watched the Joker trailer, like the new one, not because the older one, I was just like, I don't know about this. But the new trailer for it, I was like, this is a nice trailer. Like, I was like, I mean, I don't know who, like,
for
the person
Joker 2?
Yeah. It was
okay.
It was a nice trailer. Like, I was like, this is
really?
very artsy. Like, I like the artsy. I like the camera angles. Like, I liked the way it was done. Yeah. You know, like I liked it a lot more than I thought I was going to. Like, I was like, ooh, this is very artsy. Like, it's a very artsy movie, you can tell. Just like the first one. The first one was very artsy. It wasn't like it wasn't the Joker that you usually think you're gonna see. It was very artsy. So I think like that's gonna be it sets it apart from the other comic book, whether that's a villain or hero movies. Like, it just sets it apart from that. Yeah. So I think it's gonna do the same. I just wonder how well it's gonna really actually do. Because I think it's just one of those movies, and I've talked about this with Toxic Femme, with Michelle and Toxic Femme, and we both agree that this movie is either going to be a complete and utter disaster, or it's going to be like the most beautiful movie that you could possibly make. It's either going to be like amazing or a fucking disaster. Like, there's no in between.
Yeah, that's how I see it. It's just by nature of it being a musical, because you're forcing people who like the first one, and they'll probably see this one just because of it. But you're forcing them to see something that probably isn't in their genre. But this is the thing I do appreciate from Todd Phillips, because I'm so sick and tired of the superhero genre. Like, the movies are, gosh, like the lack of creativity and how stale they've gotten, especially from the MCU. Like, they've been in decline rather than, getting better. So that's what I do appreciate that, because nobody's done this yet. Like, he's combining the comic book, kind of the comic book genre, I guess you could say, with something else, that's entirely foreign to it, a musical. So
musicals.
Yeah, so I appreciate the fact that
it's a really interesting marriage of concepts, right? Like, I think, like, again, it's so artsy and so weird. Like, I mean, in the first one too, he kind of put aspects of that in the first one, like with the Joker dancing on the stairs scene. Like, that's a really long scene, like, of him just dancing there on the stairs. Like, you wouldn't think that would be a good scene to like linger on, but it was really powerful, Yeah. Now, speaking of, I was gonna say, I was gonna call it AAA, because we're talking about AAA games so much, but it's like AAA blockbuster Hollywood movies, superhero movies. Did you see the Deadpool trailer?
Oh,
the
yeah,
Deadpool 3 trailer?
absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, so what did you think of that? The Deadpool 3, because that's MCU as well.
Yeah, I think this could be the movie that saves the MCU, or at least rejuvenates it to some extent. We'll see what they do afterwards. But this is definitely, this is a no-brainer. This was, I talked with a friend of mine. We've been talking about the idea of a Wolverine Deadpool movie. And so when they finally announced it, it was like, wow, they actually did it. To bring Hugh Jackman, like, that was going to be the major obstacle, bringing Hugh Jackman back for the role. But it's like, this is $1 billion movie. You put these two characters together, and you at least, you get it right to some, you put in all the scenes that are gonna please the fans. Just don't mess it up.
Yeah, I mean,
Basically,
at this
it doesn't
point,
have to be perfect, but don't mess it up.
at this point, John, I actually think it's a really great move for Disney because it doesn't matter how much fan service they want to give the fans at this point. They've gone so far away from pleasing the fans that, like, no matter how much member berries or fan service they want to give the fans, it's needed. Like, it desperately, desperately needed. So, and I think it was interesting because Tom pointed out a couple of things about the trailer that they had already kind of fixed certain things that fans had complained about, like Wolverine sleeves, and the lack of Wolverine in the previous trailer in general, and like just a lot of the different things that they had, the fans had critiqued, they had gone and fixed for the second trailer. So it just seems like really interesting that it's kind of like Tom was saying, it's kind of like that Sonic idea where like at first everybody was like, what the fuck is this Sonic? And then they went and fixed it,
Yeah.
So I think Disney could really use that fan service, like anything, really anything, just give the fans what they want. Because right now, like at the MCU is just done. Like, I mean, nobody's watching any of the shit they're coming out with. And I think everybody's like, yes, let's go with Deadpool and Wolverine. Yes. Like, everybody's just like, please be good. Like, but
yeah.
will it make it good? I don't know. But it seems like they're trying. Like they're actually, they're trying to make it good. I thought it's interesting that they've gone out of the way to basically like, put
10 F-bombs in the trailer.
And stuff like that. Or like they put like, what was it? Like fuck Kevin Feige or what was it? Like they put somebody's name and they named somebody and they told them to fuck off.
Well, I know at the end they were talking like Feige said, no cocaine or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, they were talking about cocaine. I mean, they were coming out and being like, this is going to be a rated R movie for Disney, like for sure.
They're letting everybody know. They're letting everybody know that this is going to be, this is not going to be your typical Disney MCU movie.
I mean, I think it's a little bit, it's needed right now. I don't know if it's, I was just going to say, I don't know if it's too little too late. I mean, here's John Monkey saying to me, it's too little too late. They've burned their fan quality, equity with all of us. And now I refuse to give them money or time to a company that hates me. This is a very valid opinion because they have done that. But I'm saying as a company for them, it's a smart move because a lot of people feel the way you do. So for them to like come out and be like, hey man, we need something.
Well, here's the thing.
To this industry.
Yeah. It feels like it's a Fox. It still feels like it's a Fox Deadpool movie. And of course, like Hugh Jackman's Wolverine was in Fox, it was Fox Studios, 20th Century Fox.
Yeah.
It definitely feels more of like that than an MCU movie. Of course, they're going to bring in the MCU and certain things into that, but it does not feel like a Disney movie. So
no, not at all. Not right now. We'll see. I mean, we will only see like the first couple minute trailers. I don't know if this is gonna be a bait and switch. That's what I'm saying. I don't know. Like it could be.
I doubt it.
Yeah, I don't see it.
Like here's the thing: Hugh Jackman, when it came to Logan, him and James Mangold, they were only going to do Logan if they could tell the story they wanted to. And I believe that Ryan Reynolds, when it comes to Deadpool, and I even think Hugh Jackman too is kind of protective of the character Wolverine. I think they made a deal with Disney. It's like, we want to do what we're going to do our version of this. And we're going to make you a lot of money. So just get out of our way. And like both of those guys, when it comes to those characters, like they are quite essential. Like they are perfect for those characters. It's almost like when Disney got X-Men, they bought Fox back in 2019, or I think it was somewhere around there. And they announced that there was going to be an X-Men movie. like in about 5 years. But at this point, we haven't heard squat. There's been casting rumors put out, but who is going to fill the shoes of Hugh Jackman? Like nobody is going to play Wolverine the way he's played it. Nobody. Whoever steps in that role. I mean, the guys.
Well, they've got big shoes to fill.
Films?
Yeah, but they've got big shoes to fill. I mean, I'm not going to say nobody because a lot this argument's been said, for example, about the Joker, you know, and then Heath Ledger come out and give that performance. Like, I mean, there's been Batmans, you know, like people are like, there's never going to be another one. And
here's the difference. I'm going to get nerdy. I'm going to get really serious about this debate. When it came to the Joker, Jack Nicholson only did one film. Heath Ledger only did one film. You know, Joaquin Phoenix, he's going to have 2 under his belt. We're not even going to talk about Jared Leto because he's not even comparable. You know, great actor in his own right, but he's not comparable. Hugh Jackman has played Wolverine for, I mean, it's got to be like in 10 movies now up to this point.
True.
That's the difference is he has established himself as this character. Had he only played Wolverine in one movie, but he has more, like every movie that has come out, he has become this character more and more. And I even think that when it comes to Deadpool, like this movie, like he's going to find another way to even be more Wolverine than he even has before. So he's that freaking good. Because you go back to the first X-Men movie and he's good in that one, but it's just like the evolution that he's taken with the character, and more he almost like looks, you know, they got to look down and even him, it's just like it's so difficult to picture anybody else playing him. And same with you know, Deadpool. Like I can't even imagine, you know, Ryan Reynolds just he knows he's like
the embodiment of Deadpool. Like he really is, because it's just like who else could have done that like Deadpool like any better than Ryan? I don't think anybody could have. Just like his sense of humor, like everything about him is just like, yeah, that's Deadpool, like for sure. Now speaking of X-Men, have you watched by any chance the new X-Men, X-Men 97?
Yeah, I watched I think it was the first 5 episodes. Yeah. Okay. I didn't see the last one that came out.
Okay, I basically I think I've seen 6 episodes. And I gotta say, I'm loving it, dude. Like I think that this is a great show, like story wise. Because I will say, disclaimer, I hate the animation. I think the animation's shit. But the stories, like they're doing a good job, like with the story of the X-Men. I actually didn't think that they were going to do that well. But they have. Honestly, my expectations were subverted somewhat because I was like, this is going to be shit. I actually thought it was going to be shit, and it wasn't. It has not been disappointing. So every episode, I'm actually looking forward to the new episode. I'm like, when's the next one? Like, I feel kind of giddy about it. Like, I'm like, and I haven't felt that way for a long time. I just wish the animation was better. I really do, because the story is fucking great.
Did you watch the original series?
Yeah, of course. Okay. Yeah, I love the original series. I want to rewatch them though, because it's been a long time since I've like watched it all the way through.
What's your problem with the animation?
For sure. The animation sucks. Like, I mean, like I don't like the character animation whatsoever. I think that it's not as detailed as the original. They don't
really,
like, they barely shade the cartoon, like the characters, like the hair. I mean, just look at the hair of Rogue versus the old hair drawings. Okay. I just think the character animation's 1,000 times better in the first one.
I thought the movement, like the way the characters move, is a lot cleaner.
Yeah, it's like it has improvement. Obviously, it has some improvements, especially with regards to the 3D that they use, because they use 3D in it, and especially for like the explosions and the animations and like that kind of stuff. Yes, like those kind of stuff are improved upon. But when you have like close up Rogue face or close up Jean face or like whatever, like there's just a lot of discrepancies when it comes to like that kind of thing. You're like, that character's so ugly. Like you're like, oh no, like what did you do to her face? Like, you know, there's just been, I don't know, there's just been times where I'm like, like this this is a terrible character art of the same character. Or like when you watch passing shots, there's no curvature. Like people were making fun of the like Rogue's butt being like not as curvy or whatever. That's all the characters. Like, dude, look at the male characters. Literally everybody has a flat butt in this fucking thing. Like nobody has a butt. Everybody's got flat butts. Even the men, like they're like there's like it's just very basic cell characters that like need better, more details. It's just not happened.
I think the story has got me, has like got me definitely. Yeah, I don't think I paid it. Like the animation is different from the original. It doesn't quite match up. But I think I almost felt more so like anime vibes at times with some sequences. Yeah, I didn't think it was bad. I guess I wasn't looking at people's asses. I don't know.
I mean, Pepina's like only Nina would notice flat male butts. Like everybody's butt is flat. Like
I thought Jean Grey, I thought Rogue. I mean, they look different, but I still thought they it wasn't too much of a departure from the original. Did
you see the Storm episode yet? Did you see the Storm one?
The fourth episode. I didn't see. I know episode 6 is a continuation of that.
Okay, I'm not going to tell you anything because I don't want to.
Well, I saw the sequence. I saw the sequence where people were comparing it to Man of Steel, where she's flying.
Yeah. But like I was more like, how the hell did her hair grow? Like I was just like, all of a sudden she's got like that mohawk thing, like that. She's got like a mohawk look with like complete shaved head, like on the sides. And then all of a sudden it's like she's got like flowing long white hair. And I'm like, okay, like
once she got her powers back, maybe.
Yeah, but she got her powers back. But how does that make your hair grow? Like, that doesn't make any sense.
Mutant powers.
Like, I can't suspend my disbelief for the hair.
Yeah, it's probably more of a visual element to like show before and after, kind of like.
No, I know. I was being nitpicky on that one. It was just funny because I was like, why is she like she had a shaved head? Like she should be like Mohawk Storm right now, not like all of a sudden I have hair Storm. Like it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. It doesn't.
I was like, I don't. Yeah. I mean, I get why they did the Mohawk thing to begin with. I'm like, well, why don't you just make her Mohawk Storm? Like you did that already. Anyways, whatever. It doesn't matter. But like that, like just generally, I just don't like the character animations. I think there's things that has improved, like the way that the fight scenes are and explosions and like a lot of that kind of stuff, background scenes, like things like that. But that's what's giving you the anime style, by the way. It's because it is done by a Korean studio. Like they're not doing it in-house. Disney's not doing it in-house. I think it's called Studio Mir is doing the animation for it. And from what I understand, it's like the lowest tier animation. So you can have higher tiers. Like if they paid more, they probably get a way better character animation design. They're just not paying as much.
Okay.
They're paying like, low tier.
Well, here's the thing is that this is probably why you notice that more than me. You probably watch more anime and
I do
more animation in general. And so I haven't. I was almost like not even wanting to watch it just because I'm just not I don't watch cartoons. Like
I'm not a huge cartoon person either. Like cartoons. Like I'm not a cartoon.
Well, just
anime
anything,
I watch.
Okay, like anything, any form of animation for me, like it's just difficult for me to get into.
The medium, you mean?
Yeah.
I feel you.
But
I'm enjoying it. I was just wondering if you had seen it, and it's cool.
No.
It's cool that you're watching it. We can actually talk about it. So like, it doesn't happen very often where you and I are watching the same thing.
Yeah. Well, I've been watching this documentary on HBO Max about a cult Synanon.
Ooh.
I think it was like a call. Yeah, it was like I think it was like in the 60s and 70s. That's been pretty good.
Or documentaries.
Yeah. Yeah.
I might have to check that out.
Yeah. Has there been anything interesting, anything else that you've seen lately worth noting?
X-Men I really liked. That movie last night I watched, it was pretty good. I've been watching The Gentleman on Netflix. And I really like it, like the Guy Ritchie series. But at the same time, I'm also like, I don't think we needed a series of this. Like, I'm just like, as I'm watching it, I'm like, 8 episodes? Like, really? Like, I don't know. It just feels a little bit like stretched out, even though it's good. Like, it's like, do we really need 8 episodes of The Gentleman? Like, I don't know, but like it's good, but like it just feels like long.
So is Guy Ritchie directing all of them, or he's doing the whole thing?
Well, he's made like a lot of them. There was like one episode where I noticed like the dude's name was like Nima Rodagushu or something like that. And I was like, that guy's Persian. I was like, that guy's like whoever the directed the movie. I was like, or like the episode was like a Persian dude. And I was like, oh, like interesting, Persian dude directed. It was like episode 5 or something. So I don't know if he's directing like every single episode, but he's directed a lot of them.
Okay. He's probably like he's the showrunner. He's probably yeah.
Anything producer and everything. Because I think the original movie was by him.
Yeah, I think Netflix and I think Amazon, they just pump out. They just, especially Netflix, like Netflix just pumps out movies.
It does.
That.
So yeah, like it's good, but I'm like, I just don't know. Like I find myself like struggling to go back to the next episode. I'm like, I don't care. Like I don't care about it. Even though it's good, I'm like, I don't care about this.
Well, it can't be that. Then it must not be that good, you know. Like if you
like this is what I'm saying. Like a lot of people recommended it to me, and it's not that I'm not enjoying it. I just feel like it was actually better as a movie. Like it's just like it's the plot. You know, the plot's like okay, I think this you don't need to drag it out.
Okay, so this was I didn't even see the movie.
See the movie good. Like you should watch the movie. I think the movie was great. Like I think the movies with like Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah.
And it was really good. I was really enjoying it.
Yeah.
Let's see the movie. Did he do the first one? Yeah, he did. He made the first one too. So I don't know. I just feel like the first one is good enough.
Like there wasn't any reason to do a show.
I'm looking forward to the new Jerry Seinfeld movie that's coming out on. It's about the Pop-Tarts.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like it's called. I think it's called. I forget what it's called. Pop Wars or something. Oh, did you watch the Curb Your Enthusiasm?
I did.
Final season.
Yeah.
I watched that. So, what did you think of the finale? Spoiler.
I thought it was good. Yeah, I thought it was good. I won't say too much.
Yeah, let's not spoil it because I don't want to spoil it for people.
I thought it was a pretty good finale.
I did too. I actually loved it. I was like, oh, like I, you know, as a Seinfeld fan, I appreciate it. I was like, this is so great.
Yeah.
And it was sad though, like, because what's his Lewis, like he died right after that. Richard Lewis.
Yeah.
He like died right after it, and it was just like. I feel like this is an actually like good place to end Curb. Like I was like, that was a really good scene. Like they ended it on a really nice scene with like the whole cast being there with Richard and everyone. And I thought like it was just that's it. Like I really don't think he should make any more, even if they paid him more money. Like I don't think he should make any more. It was like a perfect finale.
Yeah, I think you're right because this is what 12 seasons. I think that's like 10 episodes a season,
something like that.
He did 120 episodes. I thought season 10 was really. I thought that was pretty good in recent memory. With the coffee spice
Mocha
bar.
Joe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I mean,
remember
I
some
love
pretty,
them all.
yeah.
My favorite one, I think, of the recent one was, of course, the Iranian one, because I like when he got the fatwa on him. Like, I was like,
That was
I'm
pretty
dying.
funny. Yeah,
Like,
that
I
was
was
pretty
just,
funny.
I mean, like the Palestinian chicken episode is one of the best episodes of Curb ever.
Yeah.
I loved how, like, when the Israel Palestine thing just like restarted up again, like, not that it hasn't been a thing forever, but when it just started again, like, people were trying to put that episode on Twitter and like be like, this is so racist, and I'm like, this is like one of the best episodes of Curb. Like, I
Yeah.
love that episode so much. The
Yeah.
Palestinian
I'm gonna have to
chicken.
go back and revisit this show because it's been a while since I've like I was binge watching it years ago to catch up to if it was season 9 or season 10. Probably
It's
maybe season
good.
10. Yeah. I'd
It's so
seen episodes before, but I just hadn't seen all of them or quite a bit of them. But yeah, it's really it's pretty darn funny. It's interesting
It's
how how they do the show?
What do you mean?
Well, there's no script. They don't have any script. They just have ideas. They write out ideas for the scenes, but
Oh, and then they
it's all ad-libbed.
Wow,
They
really?
know
No,
where
I
they
didn't
want it
know
to
that.
go. Yeah. But it's basically a bunch of comedians or a lot of the people that are working there. They're Larry David and the other guy he writes with, they have an idea of what they're doing, but it's not all fleshed out. It's not all the dialogue's written out. It's just
Wow,
them.
that's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. So there's a lot of stuff that winds up in there that was just made up on that day or on the spot. So
I think, like,
cool.
I knew that a little bit of that, like, that thing that he made up, like, that was a thing, and then that became a thing, like, when he went, like, do 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 do
Okay.
do 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 do.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, that one, like, I know that he had made that up, like, at one point, and then it just became, like, an on running thing. But, like, just generally, though, like, Curb being over is also, like, really bittersweet for me because, like, it's just, like, I'm such a huge fan of Larry David and Jerry Seinfeld that I just feel like it's, like, an end of an era, and, like, I feel like comedy's suffering so much now that we just needed stuff like Curb more than ever before. Like, people like Larry David to be able to make fun of, like, the Middle Eastern issues. It's something we need, like, because I feel like nobody can do that now. Like, only certain people can make fun of certain things, and Larry was one of them. And, like,
Yeah.
I really hope that he's gonna go and do something else. Well, obviously not Curb because Curb is over, but I do hope that he does another project because I truly enjoy his comedy, and I think, like, he's one of the greats of our time. He really is. I don't think he gets
Yeah.
enough recognition. And I know that's an ongoing joke of Curb, and people who watch Curb will understand that. But the ongoing joke of that also is that he never gets the recognition he deserves for Seinfeld because
Sure.
Jerry's name is attached to Seinfeld. So all the normies, whenever anybody watches Seinfeld, everybody thinks of Jerry Seinfeld. Nobody thinks about Larry David and the fact that George is Larry David. Like, they don't understand that this man thought of these characters. Like, he's the one that actually thought of George and Elaine and, what he brought to that show. So I think I think I'm going to miss him. I'm going to miss his comedy, and I'm going to miss, watching Curb is going to be, it's just sad. It's sad that it's over in that
Yeah.
sense. Like, and I love when shows end like that, where you're like, oh man, like,
Better to have that feeling about it than
like
be
Game of Thrones.
disappointed. Yeah, like, just totally depressed over that. Yeah, no, he is one of the he's just got a unique voice. Yeah.
Yes, he does.
Pretty funny show. Yeah.
Pretty funny show. I always said if I could have like, because people have asked me this question so many times when they're like, if you could have like dinner with any celebrity, like who would it be? And I always say Larry David. And people don't usually, they're like, Larry David, like why? Like I'm like, because he's fascinating. Like I would be such a fangirl. Like he would love me because like he loves people who are like, I love Seinfeld. Like we would just sit there and talk about Seinfeld like nonstop. Like I think he would like actually love me, like a pretty girl that like loves Seinfeld and loves him. And I'm like, you're a fucking genius. I love you. Like he would be like all about the simp, you know? Like he'd be like, yes.
Probably, yeah. Probably it's I imagine too at his stage of life where it's just like yeah, he'd be
I think he'd appreciate the love.
that. Yeah.
But you know what else I appreciate, John? I appreciate you. And thank you for being here tonight and talking with me. It's always really fun to talk to you. So I think
likewise.
I think that's where we should end it for tonight, though. So
Sure.
Before we go, do you want to plug anything? Do you have anything coming up you want to plug before we go?
Well, I was just gonna say I thought about doing a show.
Ooh.
Yeah, since Curb was ending, you know, I thought about doing a show myself.
Okay.
About a guy who gets canceled, or maybe his YouTube channel gets demonetized. And so he just goes off and he makes a reality show. You know,
oh my
like,
God.
well, maybe not like a reality show, but something like, I don't know, maybe something like a Curb Your Enthusiasm. It was an idea. I'm not going to say that I'm going to, it's going to happen. I'm not saying that this is what this is about. I'm not saying
that would be fun. Well, I would watch it. You just let me know. Also, I will guest star in your show.
Okay.
I could be like the crazy Persian girl or something. It's totally fine. I don't have to be crazy. I could just be the Persian girl. It doesn't have to be the crazy Persian girl.
Well, everybody in the show is going to be a little bit crazy.
Sure.
No, I'm talking about this like it's actually a thing. But I do have a couple ideas for episodes if I ever wanted to do something like that.
You got to write them down.
Oh, I've got them. I've got them in my phone.
Oh, yeah. Good.
But yeah, it's kind of again, I'm probably not doing anything with it. But this was just like something I thought about after I got demonetized, where I was like, oh, where could I go from here? What could I do? Maybe I'll start my own like half-hour show and put it on YouTube, and
I think that would be funny. I would watch it.
I'd have a blast. It would be a lot of fun.
You used to do funny skits all the time too.
Yeah, it takes a lot of people and a lot of cooperation to.
I know.
To pull
that's
something
the
like
annoying
that
part is getting people to cooperate. Guess what? That's what like the entire point of freaking Curb Your Enthusiasm is how annoying people are. Like, getting them to cooperate.
Yeah. So, it would kind of get meta, I suppose, like that.
Yeah, I know.
But, well, I'll tell you afterwards, Nina, like about one episode that I've got in mind.
Okay.
But again, this probably isn't happening, so don't anybody get your hopes up. I just thought it would be a much more interesting way to go out on the show versus me talking about my other YouTube channel, which is John Talks 2. Subscribe if you are not, and you want to watch silly political videos edited by me.
Yeah, it's in the description, guys, and I think Darren's dropping the links as well. Yeah, there's John Talks and John Talks 2. Make sure you go and subscribe. As for me, I will be back soon. I'm probably going to be playing Helldivers at some point. And of course, for my Friday show, Good News, Nina. Infinity does Infinite Hope. So come and hang out Fridays at 2 p.m. Eastern if you could use some good news, because I know the world is kind of negative all the time. So there's that. Thank you, everybody, for watching tonight over on YouTube and X, Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. Special thanks to those of you who super chatted, became a member, gifted memberships, all that good stuff. Thank you for supporting the channel. And until next time, do you want to do your little bell ringy?
I think I got rid of the cowbell. Actually, I think I might have threw it out. Yeah,
well, that's out.
End of an era. Yeah.
Yeah, that is a real end of now.
It's in the other room if I didn't, but I think I snapped a photo of it and I threw it in the trash.
Oh, okay, that's okay.
Yeah.
Well, everybody, have a great night, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
See everyone. Take care.